18. Maybe you want to go and take advantage of those over at loot.bet. But let's get into this action. All sets of Kevlar for North. 0 defuse kits. They're obviously feeling confident that this bomb isn't going to go down.
Yeah, this is some pure confidence. I think they want to just get the frags done. Existence right now heading right over towards outside. AZ's just going to be watching it in the nick of time. Does he swing out and take the shots, though? It's actually not going to happen. It's going to be MSL to try and find something, and they're just getting picked away here. Existence charging right down towards B, and it leaves it all onto Cajun B on the ramp to try and hold this one up. He's found 2 fantastic headshots, looking for a third as he calls in for reinforcements, and it's Lecro to help him out. All of a sudden, North have started to pick up the pieces a bit here. They had a 2-man disadvantage. Now a 3 versus 2 retake in their favor.
Hectus needs to connect with this headshot, or at least allow Refresh to creep closer. There goes the Glock. Close quarters combat before getting taken down again by Cajun B. What a triple kill there. We saw him snipe away 4 yesterday in the CT pistol on overpass. But does it once again here against Existence. 1-0 here for North. That's a good start. You always want to be taking that CT pistol here on Nuke. Gives you a fairly hefty advantage. Allows you to get those rifles out in hand first. It was looking a bit dangerous considering these opening frags. This was a 5 versus 3 before this. Pretty cracking teamwork between Cajun B, just calling and radioing in for the reinforcements of Lecro. And you see that Queen is just stuck out in the open for that frag. Lovely stuff from North. And we'll watch the round all over again. It was so good, we'll watch it 4 times, Jay.
It was very good. Cajun B had to find those frags, and if he didn't, that was just going to be round over for North. If he got a bullet straight in his head, there was no chance of him holding that one up. Right now, we're seeing much of the same. North just denying Existence at the door. This was actually a, well, it wasn't
not a force.
It wasn't a force. It wasn't a force. Just those pistols. I saw some Tech 9s, and I thought, was there some Kevlar behind it? But clearly not. They got that bomb plant in the first. They go for the eco, and it means in round number 3, they have got a very, very healthy buy. They've got AKs all round, the utility on everyone. Potential for a glass cannon, but I don't think we'll be seeing that this early. I think we will just see these rifles, and these rifles are going to be quite confident up against a scout on MSL and the FAMAS on Lecro. An opportunity for Existence to put a round on the board and close this gap early on.
I'll be honest, I would never be too confident against MSL. His AWPing this tournament has been ferocious. This time with a less advantageous scout, just trying to pick a way through this smoke, but no gap to use and utilize. With 90 seconds left, Existence, they're fast running, gunning onto this A bomb site. There are the kills, pair of headshots, and now this bomb can actually go down and away, and here's a dilemma for North M&J. What do they decide to do? I don't even know if they want to initiate this retake right now. MSL can save that scout. He is going to do so within the CT spawn. And everybody else just clinging on to these rifles, being the famous in M4A4, of course. So that's a quick round for Existence. And I like this pace. Similar to what we saw in the pistol, just completely upping the tension, running gun right into that A bomb site. And North seemed a little unaware of that split.
They really did. As soon as they lost those 2 gunfights, that was just it. They lost the 2 upgraded rifles as well, and they're completely unretrievable. So they are actually bringing this FAMAS and Scout into the next round. I did start to fear for Existence. When that nade stack came through on middle, they took a lot of early damage. And at the start of the round, when you've got 2-3 players that are already down to 40 HP just because of these grenades, it can become very difficult because you then have a huge disadvantage in any firefight that you take. Whereas they seem to just react well. They played as a group. They swung a main as a 3, I think, just to take down those 2 players on the site. It really, really secured that round for them. Of course, this is going to be another buy-up from North, so an opportunity to bounce back off of this. But Existence have done exactly what was needed. Take that round, keep as many players alive as you can, and this means that now they've got the weapons to work with. They've got the advantage to work with. And they've got money in the bank as well, so that if they lose this one, they can still invest into the next. This is where you want to be if you're Existence right now. You don't want to allow North to take a lion's share of these early rounds and be on the back foot here straight away on the T side of Nuke.
Absolutely. It's about keeping this North economy low as well. And eliminating AZ is a great way to start. just lingering alone down in secret as Huxi. And there's just a cautionary Molotov to try and scare Gade away. It's going to do the exact opposite as he goes hunting instead. Now knows that there's nobody down in secret, and North have to defend elsewhere. Lecro, that's a lovely shot. Instantly traded though, and that does again give away one of these bomb sites. Down towards B this time for Existence, where only Gade was holding. That's the shutdown, and we should see that bomb go, well, nice and away. I guess there's an opportunity to trade up an AK. Maybe this is a retake that North want a part of. I'm not really sure. Where did that AK go? It's vanished. It's completely vanished. Let's see if the observer can help him out. Is it behind these railings? Is it fallen under the map? Can we go under the map? Oh, is it under there? No. Yeah, it is. I've never seen that before. How did you get under there? What a sneaky bugger.
Wow, that is rough. That is a real shame. That AK could be quite impactful. Instead,
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, nor have I. I mean, Cajun B in this retake scenario, I think if Cajun B was closer, maybe Cajun B was over towards ramp, MSL finds that kill, maybe they go for this. But quite interestingly, when MSL was going down secret and found that FAMAS kill, Cajun B was already long gone. He'd already made that save call. He was in T-spawn and he was ready to save. So as soon as MSL found it, it wasn't viable at all. Cajun B was too far away to then rotate through and go for that retake, despite the fact that it was somewhat doable. So instead, yeah, they just bring these FAMASes into this next round, but I can't imagine they force a whole lot around it. Everybody else around the 2K mark, if they eco here, then they can certainly buy into the next. Maybe MSL drops something, but I think he wants to save that cash for the AWP.
Yeah, I certainly do as well. I think this might be just Deagle, probably not body armor for the other three. Maybe if you could drop a set of Kevlar, MSL would be on sugar daddy duty. The scoreline's 2-2. And I've got to be honest, Existence are actually looking pretty good right now. They seem to have come into this semi-final confident and fired up. And that's exactly what you want to do, especially when you start on this T side. Sometimes it's a bit of an advantage. In the old NIP days with Threat, he is once again under the driving seat. But before he took his break as a coach, of course, NIP would sometimes select the T side of the majority of maps, Inferno, Cache being some of them. Maybe not Nuke, considering it's so CT-sided. But sometimes you just want to get off on a good stead. You want to control the pace of this first half and get warmed up before that CT side. This time we don't really see much investment whatsoever. As you said, M&J, MSL keeping enough cash for that AWP in the next. Everybody else should have the rifles. Let's see what Existence are going to do with this firepower advantage. Of course, North just with the two FAMAS.
Yeah, I'm not sure what North can do with this. That save, well, unless they do something crazy here, then that save's been relatively unimpactful. Just having a full eco around those two FAMASes, you're basically playing a 5 versus 2. You're really banking on MSL making a big play here up close in mid. Only way that's going to happen is if they don't check it. Oh my goodness, they're not checking it. AZ's found the first kill. This is an opportunity here for MSL.
Yeah, he snuck right behind the T-forces, and that smoke being the saving grace. He's finally going to spot out Nodios, and they've got no idea. There goes the AK, and once again, it's unretrievable. He gets instantly slammed down and away. He really needed 2 kills there. That would have probably put North maybe even on the round win. But this B bomb site, it's already fallen. M&J. There go the Molotovs, just absolutely ensure that one. And there's absolutely nobody on the defense. North stuck at absolute arm's length upon the ramp, and they are going to finally charge as soon as that bomb goes down. That leaves Queenix isolated on this site for Cajun B to take a second. Refresh now needs to do everything in a 4 versus 2. He's already mowed down half of them, and now he's right between the forces. 3 kills, but Cajun B takes him away as well. That's his second triple of the game to put North on a 3rd round.
That was absolutely incredible from Refresh. The way that he played that clutch was actually insane. He opens the door, finds himself 1 kill, opens the door again, finds a second, and then dances around that silo. It's such a shame that he wasn't able to pull that one off, but a valiant attempt nonetheless. That is very, very surprising that North have been able to take that round. That was essentially an eco with just a couple of FAMASs that were saved. But to find those openers, that was really it. That deagle shot that came in initially from AZ, then MSL chipping one away too. That's how those rounds start to fall apart. It's very rare that you actually see like an eco like that and they all push together and like win the round with a nade stack or something. It's when those pistols just kind of chip away one player at a time, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a 4-on-3 retake, and then you've got the pistols charging you. Existence, they do have the money in the bank to be able to invest up again. They've got these 8Ks, they've got the AWP on Hectors, but now they have to face up against the same investment from North, and North are all fired up now.
Yeah, that's a really dangerous round. Should have been somewhat of a freebie for Existence. I don't know what they could have done better. I guess rummaging for MSL outside would have probably been a good job, but obviously, we've got a way easier job here on the casting desk. We can see that mini-map where North are posted, and sometimes very slight mistakes become very, very obvious when you're sat behind the microphone. There's MSL's AWP, first frag of the game with that sniper rifle, and he is often just such a massive member, especially on that CT side. We talked about his tendency to very aggressively rotate, to become incredibly unpredictable. And let's see how Existence deals with that as we get later into the rounds and deeper into this first map. Here come the nades. And a couple of counter flashes for AZ to spray through that squeaky door. Lovely opening shots.
Wow. Existence, they've taken a fair amount of map control, but they've taken a two-man disadvantage so early on. And whilst the bomb's going to go down, the nade's going to take down Nodios. That brings it into a 4-on-2. The retake starts to come in, but the issue is the T's aren't really anywhere to be seen either. Hectors has to find himself at least one, preferably two here to make this work. And his teammates starting to whiff a fantastic flick from Hectors, though. Keeps this one at bay. Lecro can't hit the cross. And now a 2-on-2. MSL's come through with that AWP shot, leaves it all down to Hectors. He's found himself one more. And now a 1 versus 1. Lecro's tapped the bomb, but Hectors knows he's off of it. And there we go. A fantastic headshot to finish it off. 4 kills for him in the round. And it ties things up at 3-3.
That's some stunning stuff, especially that first shot from Hectors, and starting off from where he left off yesterday in that best of 3 against Gambit Youngsters. Look at that initial flick. That's such a lovely shot against Cajun B. And then isolating these CTs. He's on 26 points of health in this 1 versus 2, M&J. And just able to absolutely eviscerate the CTs. I don't know what Lecro was looking at, but it gives the 4K. And now we're back to evens. A round that Existence really did want to win. They forced North back into economical turmoil. They don't have enough to buy up in this 7th. And I wonder what they're going to do here. Yes, MSL's, he's got the AWP. Is this a force buy? This is very touch and go. It does look to be that.
Yeah, that's a rough round for North to lose. It really puts their economy in tatters. MSL did obviously have tons of cash before this, so he is going to go for this hero AWP, and I think he's absolutely capable of finding 2-3 kills and making this round doable for North. But Existence are just looking like the better side in some of these rounds. In that last, that was a fantastic play from Hectors. I am really unsure what Lecro was doing in that scenario, completely looking the wrong way despite having the information. But right now, well, North haven't been able to find that opening shot that they were looking for. That's allowed Hooksy right down to the vents. It's given Existence tons of control early on.
And these shots, this pretty scrappy buy from North being dealt with perfectly by Existence. Slow creeping outside control, finding all of those kills, and now rummaging down into secret once again, where North pretty much have nobody posted. Yes, Cajun B has dug himself in behind, and Nodios should go down here, but even connecting with that shot leaves us in a 5 versus 2, and maybe Existence are about to walk into these final pair of players. MSL is in a peculiar angle with this AWP. I really do wonder what he's going to be able to connect from this specific scenario, and if he moves at the wrong time. Existence are making no noise right now. laying open the opportunity for a mistake, but I think Existence, yeah, they've smelt a rat. They know how this defense is posted. That bomb straight back up to this A site, and it's saving time for MSL's AWP, I think. What a beautiful shot. Might even salvage an AK-47. Existence do have to be careful about this. I do think that North will save in this scenario, but with MSL heading here into main, he might actually catch off Refresh. This is all down to timing. This will have to be an exceptionally fast flick. And Refresh, oh, he's got the angle. He knows exactly where MSL is posted for the exits. And there's the AWP back in the hands of Hector's, or maybe they're just trying to throw it out the map. I think it's the latter, in fact. That's really smart stuff. Tight T-side attack from Existence.
That is very, very nice. Let Grow, of course, saving that AK. Now round number 8, an opportunity to talk about our partners over at Hellcase. Make sure you're using code MaltaV or MaltaV15 for a 15% refill bonus when you top up your balance. Right now, Existence, they've taken the lead for the first time this game. And they've got the weaponry to back it up and extend it further as well. North not having the best of CT sides here on Nuke so far.
No, that's disappointing as well. Existence, I feel like they've just been playing the better CS thus far. Right now, an opportunity to, really bank up some cash, especially with that MAC-10 just leaping and bounding on through, finally getting taken out by Gade, but there's not really much for trade up there. He gets a Deagle, but there's no AK-47 dropped. It's only that SMG. And that's almost unretrievable, as he doesn't want to get too aggressive to try and hunt these angles. And even if he salvages it, what can he really do against a full rifle setup? This is incredibly clinical. Right onto this A bomb site. Yes, they do lose 2 men, but more importantly, it is the round. And after that eco squabble against North down on the B bomb site before, it's nice to see Existence restabilize. 5 rounds on Nuke is classically almost good enough. And definitely the opportunity to take a couple more with still 7 rounds left to be played.
Absolutely. That's the worry here, isn't it, if you're North? You've allowed them to take 5. You know that it's not out of control yet. But if you allow them to take more, they get to 6, 7, maybe even 8 rounds on that T side, then you have to start being worried. You have to start to think, right, we have to start pulling back rounds here. And we also have to have a fantastic T side to be able to take this map. So this is the time where North want to win this round and they want to start putting more on the board to keep this at bay. Otherwise, Existence might be able to take this one over the top in this first half, which would be incredible for a T side of Nuke. Right now, once again, we're seeing them heading over towards this A site. They've got the nades in hand. There we go. The full execute comes through, and this is where they burst in.
Oh, that's a disastrous Molotov. Counts them away, and they do not have any vision onto occasion B. Heavy damage for North. Leaves Hector stuck in the mud again. Shot like fish in a barrel right there on the A bomb site. Look at how fast that rotate was from North. They had 5 bodies on that site before that bomb could even think about going down. Existence held it at an arm's length once again. And their money is already down in the dumps. This is going to be a full buy here in the 10th for them. But it's not ideal if they lose this 10th. It'll draw the scoreline back level, then an opportunity for North to get ahead, considering the next is likely a full eco from Existence. What are they going to decide to do? Hector somehow just snipes away that first frag. It's a lovely combination that we often see here on Nuke, which you have to be hyper aware of on the CT side, of that squeaky door being blasted open by the HG with the AWP sat right behind it. AZ sometimes gets a little too big for his boots, playing maybe a little too over aggressive on that angle, gets taken down, and that gives so much control outside for Existence. I love how they're abusing this setup.
Oh. Timing not quite working out. If MSL peaks, he might find himself something, but Hector's on the angle. And this should be another round in the bag for Existence. what's really important to note here is the fact that Existence just haven't had to eco in ages because their economy has been so strong that actually they've always had money to just buy up as soon as they lose a round. And it means that every single time they lose a round, they seem to invest again, they bounce back. And we've seen a lot of rounds traded back and forth. North haven't really had the opportunity, at least in the last 6 rounds or so, to take one off of Existence, take a follow-up round off of Existence, build up their own economy, and break their opponents. Instead, they've just kind of been forcing up whatever they can, and sometimes that's SMGs for masses, and then they just get torn away in the follow-up by the AKs. SMG is going to be able to find itself something, but the AK will surely get hunted, and there we go. It's Nodios to find Letcrow to finish off this round and deny North saving anything into round number 11, as we see a pause come through.
Yeah, I did say that Existence earlier was maybe the dark horse of this tournament, maybe more of an unknown quantity. We've seen these players just lingering around the Danish scene, never really getting a chance onto big rosters realistically. Remember, this is a domestic matchup, so both of these rosters should know each other fairly well. I don't know how long they've spent in the scrim server playing against each other, but Existence look incredibly confident and fired up. Off the back of a win yesterday, I actually see here they won a tournament called the One Tap League. I'm not really sure what that is, but they did win it. It was 4 teams, Movistar Riders, and then Beacon and Wizards. Not really sure who they are, but obviously a best of 3 win against Movistar Riders just yesterday. That's definitely a decent performance considering Movistar are contending at this same sort of level of the scene as well. Now today, they've got an opportunity if they can take back-to-back best of 3s against North and then either the winner of Sprite and Forza. They'll be looking pretty good to maybe even contend for this championship, which I would have said yesterday before their matchup against Gambit Youngsters that they would have had practically no chance. They were pretty much bottom seeds. And now they've got a good opportunity again. That's a hell of a lot of damage, though, from Cajun Bay.
It really is. I mean, Letcrow in a very, very dangerous position to deny this plant. He's found himself the first headshot. He knows Refresh is below him. Does he know that he's only on 1 point of health? He may have just known. And there we go. This round's kind of been put to bed. Hector's, he's left in another 1 versus 2 situation. You got to remember, this was an eco. This was actually just a full eco from North with a Deagle on Cajun B. And somehow these pistols have prevailed. Hector's charging his way down to this B-bomb site. He's got so many angles to clear, though. There's no way he gets away with this. And Letcrow's going to be able to take him out. And I think just about grab that AWP as well.
Yeah, great round from North, considering 2 of the 5 rounds that they've taken have been pretty much full ecos here on this CT side. They need to now tighten up with the rifles. This will be a full buy. They saved for it anyway. You can see Cajun B, he's doing most of the heavy lifting. He's got almost as many kills as the rest of his team combined, up on 14 here as we go into round number 12. He's doing a great job just being the anchor of that A bomb site. Usually quite a fiery and flary player. I wonder what the scoreline would be without his presence on the server right now. Existence. What are they going to do here in round number 12? Of course, the smokes are placed. Ramp room. That seems to be the play to try and challenge Letcrow, who sometimes does stick around for more than he bargained for here with this M4A4. It's another Molotov to bail him out of some temporary trouble. I don't know when Existence are going to go in for this burst. Remember, their money is fairly low, M&J, so this will force them onto another eco. North have been in this position a couple of times now, where they've been 1 round away from breaking Existence, and they've snapped instead.
Yeah, this is one of the first times in a little while that I've seen North with a healthy economy and an opportunity to reset their opponents. It's Refresh to find that opening pick, though, and we all know the statistics. When a team finds that first kill, they normally have a 70-75% chance of converting the entire round. Gades managed to trade it out, though. There's no chance for it to go back. So a 4 versus 4. But look at the time. There's 30 seconds on this clock, and Existence actually have very little map control. They're heading over towards ramp, but they actually have no idea what's waiting for them on B. And it is going to be an AWP on MSL and let Crow up close in a very dangerous angle. This is very difficult to clear, but they've done so, and they've smoked off MSL as well. This is their opportunity to get in, but with seconds left, they have to get this bomb down. If it gets denied, then it's all over, and Gade's managed to do so. That was his sole purpose, and he's won them the round single-handedly because of it.
Yeah, that is the breaking point here for Existence. Yes, they do save a pair of rifles right there. Might even prompt them to go for the force buy here in the 13th. I'd love to see a tactical pause before the final 3 rounds here for Existence. This is a great time to actually discuss what's going wrong. And there we go. Finally does take one. That is, that's exactly what I would have expected as of this point. This is definitely a turning moment in this first half, where North could close things out very feasibly, 9-6. Or Existence, they could take 1 or 2 more. I definitely think 6 is enough for Existence, but after such a strong start, I'd definitely be expecting a little bit more. If North steals away 9 rounds in this first half, that is daylight robbery here on Sunny Nuke.
It absolutely is. Existence have done well to find the 6 initially on their T side, of course, but North have managed to put it back. At that time when I said this is kind of a turning point, yeah, they either have to start pulling it back now, otherwise they just allow Existence to take a few too many rounds here on their T side. That's exactly what they did, and now they've forced Existence into this cycle where they're forced up, they've got pistols, they've got a couple of rifles to work with. And if they can't convert this round, they allow North on to 7, probably 8 as well. And they've kind of thrown away that lead that they initially had.
Yeah, I think this was a must investment for Existence, just considering the polarized economy. Doesn't put them in great stead here in round number 13, considering the 3 rifles they have is a Scout, M4, and AK. Refresh just stuck on that Tech 9 still, and with 1 pistol already being removed from the server. How do Existence respond? Maybe with a bit of outside control. Hectus wants to go on a solo fishing expedition. As Existence, they are just gunning for this opening frag right now. They're not going to find it. AZ, that's his 2nd, and this might be a shutaway 7th for North.
Well, it absolutely has to be if they want to have a good half here. Still 3 alive for Existence, but they're running down this clock once again. And, well, my fear is that this time they won't have the tools to work with. Start to creep out the squeaky door. Gade's ready and waiting for them. Completely shut it down. North put themselves onto 7, back in the driver's seat. And they force their opponents finally onto what I'm certain will be an eco. Existence want to eco this one. They want to full buy into the 15th and try and have an 8-7 half, which would actually be fantastic for a T side on Nuke. 9-6 isn't terrible, but considering they had that 6-4 lead, I think they would have hoped for a little bit more than that. And here we go. Yeah, just a full eco from this T side. Oh.
Yeah, as to be expected. I'm pretty sure this is a technical timeout by the looks of things. Both teams just heading back to their respective spawns. We'll see a quick break in pace before we get back into the action here on Nuke for the final couple of rounds. North do seem to be eventually finding their footing on this CT side. I think that Existence pretty much got maximum worth with the exception of those ecos. Remember, North have actually won 2 ecos just to draw the scoreline level. And that's definitely a danger point for this Existence side, where they're not playing as convincing Counter-Strike as I would have hoped against just a couple of Deagles, unarmored pistols, an SMG here and there, the Scout of MSL. I think it's actually been the Deagle of KGB posing the biggest threat on this CT side. Remember, the winner of this series gets to face the winner of Fours versus Sprouts. That's coming up next. Both taking their respective quarterfinals incredibly convincingly, just to try and take that $25,000 top prize here in week 10. You also get that boot camp. You can put your feet up over in sunny Malta. Both of these teams definitely, but I guess they've just taken a holiday, but you can never have enough holidays.
Yeah, I think as a Counter-Strike player, you spend a lot of time in your chair in the practice servers. It's nice to have a nice holiday. I mean, it's a boot camp as well, so they're still going to be playing and practicing. I don't think it'll all be sun and margaritas, but I mean, this is just a complete shutdown. They should be able to find this final kill as well, and there we go. MSL completely anticipates it. North are going to be able to put themselves onto 8, and this is where Existence. This is a round where, okay, it's not massively impactful, but if they can take 8 to 7, it's the difference between a fantastic half and a meh half. Yeah, like an average T half on Nuke. If they can take this round, then they put themselves in a brilliant position to take this map. If they don't, and then they lose the pistol round as well, perhaps, then they're kind of in your standard T side first half Nuke position.
Yeah, I would say that this is just slightly above average. I think that 5 is probably what you're aiming for. Maybe even 6 as well. But North has definitely stabilized, and this is an incredibly important round. I love that angle from Hector's. Just to bait MSL into the setup. He instantly falls, and now Existence need to capitalize off this if they do want that rock-solid T side that we were talking about before. These openings just seem so ferocious for Existence. Left, right, and center, they're finding these quick kills. And North just caught in another head-scratcher. 3 versus 5. Yes, they do have the double AK-47 in hand in case B is going to go hunting. There's Refresh taken care of. Main completely eviscerated, and maybe Existence want to rummage outside, perhaps into mini. They've got so many options on the table.
Oh, they absolutely do. Hector's not someone that's been on my radar all too much. I remember seeing him in AGF earlier on in the year, but he is playing absolutely outstanding with this AWP in this match against North. And as you say, these opening picks are just doing all the work for Existence. They don't even need to swarm in. They're just picking off their opponents one by one. It leaves B all alone in a 1-on-4, and they're not going to allow him anything. Hector's puts an AWP bullet straight in his head, and Existence are able to put themselves onto 7. That's a fantastic half here on Nuke, and North have got a lot of work to do to be able to pull this one off. And there's the odds from our partners over at LootBet. After that 7-round first half, Existence are now the favourites to take it.
Yeah, only slight favorites, which obviously show a little bit of confidence in North's ability to actually come back into this series. I certainly have a little bit of confidence that they can do exactly that. Nuke isn't often their most dangerous territory here. They've got a very low 39% win percentage here on this T side. So I'm definitely getting a little scared for North. I certainly hope that they've got something up their sleeve. Otherwise, Existence, they'll go 1-0 up, and then we'll go on to the home territory of North, which is Vertigo. You can see that in the top right of your screen right now. Very important pistol round. If Existence can win it, I think that might even just put them over the edge towards that double-digit marker, stabilize that economy. That's exactly what you want on a CT side such as this. And to be perfectly honest with you, the CT side for Existence has actually looked much better than their T side as of late. I would say that it's their terrorist half that's had problems as of yesterday. And right now here today, they've got the CT side of one of their favored maps. It's, of course, their pick as well. They've taken some good wins on it, but they've actually given away the whole of this A site. Only Queen lurking and lingering round and about. Able to hit 2 headshots before he goes down. They've engaged all on his lonesome, and Nodios is going to go for the quick swing in through. That's Existence to level the scoreline.
Wow, that was quite an important round for North to win in my mind. If they can win that pistol, they can certainly extend their lead and put themselves in a favorable position, because they'll be able to get onto what will probably be 10 rounds before Existence could pull out a proper buy. But with Existence taking it, it puts North in a difficult position. They're not going to force into this one. They weren't able to get that bomb plant either, which is another deciding factor. Now Existence will most likely be able to take the lead here. This becomes quite dangerous on the CT side of Nuke, and you're absolutely right in saying at half-time, Existence are definitely the favourites going into this second half now, just off the basis of their T side and actually the fact that they've just taken that pistol round as well. But I think we're all just quite confident in North's ability to pull off something incredible That's what we saw yesterday. MSL just going absolutely nuts with that orb. And somehow they've actually managed to find 2 kills and a bomb plant in this full eco. So all things considered, this is actually a very good round for North.
Yeah, massively successful. That's exactly what you're looking for here on the T side. Little bit of extra bang for your buck going into the initial buy. Everybody sat within this $5,000 to $6,000 mark. And now we see the AK-47s come into play. Doesn't look like MSL is going to have his prized AWP. Maybe just a 5-rifle setup. Perhaps a little bit of speed here for North. I'd like to see them change the pace at some point. Catch Existence off guard. How can they handle the firepower from the big behemoths of the North side? And they just kind of try and use and utilize all of this firepower. Outside control has been initially taken from Refresh and Hooksy, and there's a quick kill combination onto AZ. Lots of damage dealt, and now they need to dig Refresh right out of the open. The smokes are placed, a very big whiff from that Famous. Nodios does drop. This does get a little bit touch and go, but with the flank in hand, I'd have loved to see Refresh just peek and peer through that smoke. It's not going to happen, and now Existence with a dilemma. Do they decide to save?
Maybe. That's exactly what they're going to go for. That's the real issue. It's so difficult to retake that B site on nuke sometimes, especially when the numbers aren't in your favor. I think if the numbers are in your favor, then you can put one person on each entrance of the bomb site and you can kind of start to crush in and have this kind of pincer going on. But when it's a 4 versus 3, you can only come in from, well, 3 angles. You've got so many North defenders to hold those positions as well, and it becomes very difficult. So to fall right back, save these upgraded rifles, that's going to have quite a big impact on this next round, as they will be able to drop and have a full investment around it. But a very important round for North to take. That's something to note. If Existence win that, they'll probably be able to pull off one more on top of it as well, as North wouldn't have any money in the bank. And then it starts to get out of hand. But North leveling things back out, an opportunity for them to take the lead here as well if they can take this next round and start to build up their economy. That's exactly what you want to do here on the T side of Nuke.
Yeah, this is breaking point for Existence. If they can't take this, it will definitely be eco territory. There's no question about that. And quite an assertive A presence for the CTs to start off this 19th. KGB just gesturing in through this broken squeaky door. And Existence playing quite an aggressive setup. Right outside of the ramp room, you see Nodios just trying to get as much information as possible. And Existence, what do they decide to do here? Are they going to maybe push outside, give North something to work with? I really don't think so. They play their best CS when they turtle down an incredibly passive setup and let the fight come to them. That's exactly what North are going to do. Heading down to Secret, but they have to break this crossfire of Hector's outside and Hooksy down in Secret. And they absolutely step up to the task. It's MSL, and they're going to charge off the back of this. Nodios being the sole B defense. They've got Refresh hidden inside defense. And that's going to force North elsewhere.
It does become quite worrisome when quite hastily you have to change your direction and head over towards this A site. And that's exactly what's happened, and they get shut down because of it. The game plans to go down Secret and head towards B. They get denied by the vents and hastily run over towards the A bomb site. They get trapped straight into a crossfire as Existence are able to take their buy round. They put their 10th on the board. It is going to be another investment here from North, but a timeout for this CT side. That was a very important round for them to win. If they don't win that, then they go on to an eco. They allow North to establish a little bit of a gap here on their T side. Instead, they remain in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think for Existence, after showing a couple of issues closing that series against Gamut Youngsters yesterday, they definitely want to end this map sooner rather than later. Get on to 16, no overtime shenanigans, don't allow North to get closer in this scoreline up to the double-digit marker. And right now, they've got a fairly decent buy. The one little stumbling block is Refresh's MP9, but here on Nuke, there are close quarters angles that you can play. He can sit on top of the hut, even maneuver with this SMG outside. And up against North here, they've got AZ on just a pistol as well. So challenging Hector's to start. He's actually looking right above those smokes for anybody to jump, but the smokes are actually misplaced from North. There's a massive angle here for Hooksy, and Hector's, oh, he's going to place the angle as well. Finally, a tertiary smoke goes down. That's so much utility used that North don't even have another smoke grenade left for this execute. Allows Refresh just to hold this angle. He needs to be as up close and personal as possible with this SMG. There's another flashbang, forces him forward. Lecro fully flash, takes the frag. And that gives North at least an opportunity onto the B bomb site, but they have to deal with no Dios first. Trading left, right, and center. Seems like all of the rotates are inbound. And Hector's, he needs to be the saving grace with this AWP.
That's unfortunate. You can't hit that flick. Had he have done so, that would have been their ticket in. Instead, the bomb is going to go down. He has to be wary of Cajun B as well. For now, Cajun B is just playing quite passive. He's waiting for the rotations to come through. He doesn't want to just push right in. But look at this. This is so smart. There's surely no way that Existence expect this play. And Cajun B should be able to put this retake to bed. Oh, that got a little bit shaky, but he does convert the kill. He knows Hector's is there as well. That's going to force Hector's right out in the open. Somehow lands the shot, though, but Cajun B is able to trade it. And that should be a free round. Oh my goodness, we're going to see a ninja defuse? No. Okay, I got excited.
I think that was the full 10-second as well. I didn't actually see a defuse get on Queen X. So that was definitely audacious. Maybe even spontaneous. 10-10. And I think that is the breaking point here once more for Existence. They eat their, I think, third tactical timeout this map. They've only got one in the reserve, if my maths isn't too shaky. And North definitely applying the pressure now on this T side. This should be a freebie onto 11. That's permitting Existence don't want to go for this force buy. I think that it's minimum loss bonus at this point. Only 1,400, which means even if they do the full eco here in round number 21, Hector's Refresh, they won't be able to afford rifles even in the 22nd. Leaves a dilemma out on the table, which they have taken a tack to discuss. And here comes the force buy. This isn't just an opportunity for North to get onto 11, but 12 here. This is definitely a danger point in this first map for Existence.
I always advise against these hasty forces. If they have me in the server squid as like an advisor, before they like go for these buy-ups, they say, M&J, what do you think? I'd always say
Slap
no.
them around.
Yeah, I'd say no, don't do it. Exactly. That's exactly what I do. But
I once hit a friend with a wet tea towel when I was very drunk. If we're doing confessions,
go on.
That's it.
That's it.
Just hit him.
Brilliant. I've done that before as well.
But it was a wet tea towel. It was not nice.
Oh no. Makes that whoosh noise.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that North are actually walking into the stack of this force buy, but they seem to be dealing with it well. The pistols aren't paying any dividends right now. Oh, Hector's is able to find himself a nice shot onto Cajun B, but I think that's going to be all as they swarm this A bomb site. They've taken the control. The bomb's going to go down. And are we actually just going to see a save here? Yeah, it's looking like what we're going to see. Hector's going to fall right back. He wants to bring that scout into the next round. Hooksy's not really got a whole lot to save. I'd actually quite like to see him go into that A-bomb site, try and get an exit frag, maybe retrieve a weapon to work with. That's what he's going to be going for, but I don't see MSL missing this shot. He's got a nice soft angle, but oh my goodness, that timing isn't fun. He's got no teammate there to support him. This could actually be an AWP saved for Existence right now, unless North go hunting.
Yeah, this is definitely turned around. North doing a really good job on this T side of just, forcing all of these bomb plants, Existence into really shaky situations. And considering Existence only have an AWP and Scout saved, I guess they have to use these in the next. This should be a fairly full eco around these rifles. I don't see any opportunity for them to get out a couple of deagles here. Anything really too hefty in terms of the investment. This will likely even be a glass cannon for Hector's, considering he does want the AWP in the next as well. 11 to 10. North really applying the pressure here on the T side. Only 5 left to try and finish off and take us to Vertigo, which would be our second map of the day, M&J.
Absolutely, and the pick of North. Not just the pick of North, but their best map. As they swarm in, you tend to see a hero rifle in play in some of these eco rounds, but the most dangerous of them all is the AWP, especially in the hands of Hector's. Fortunately for him, the opponents have gone to the wrong bomb site. And North seem to be able to... Yeah, they seem to be able to get onto this B bomb site. They've actually found no kills, and it's a 5 versus 5 retake, which is something that we actually quite rarely see here in Counter-Strike. Especially considering there wasn't actually like a stack over towards A or anything. Existence have just retreated off of the site. They want to play this one as a retake scenario. For now, they're not having a whole lot of luck, and they're letting this bomb tick away quite far. There's no kits in hand, and I think they're hoping for some exit frags.
Yeah, that's definitely what they're going for right now. It's all about the exits, trying to do some extra bonus damage, which probably shouldn't be too successful. The golden opportunity is to try and save an AK-47. Linger as many of these North members upon this B bomb site, but with only 1 frag. I guess it's worth it. You don't want to save that scout into round number 23. And now the scoreline, 12 to 10, North. They do it again up against the pistols. Now an opportunity to get onto 13 against the rifle round here in round number 23. What do Existence have left in the tank? This CT side certainly hasn't been as good as I previously predicted. And North just playing with this 5 AK-47 setup, wanting to dictate the pace of this second half. There's nothing that Existence have been able to do about this. Everybody else does spam through this smoke, finding no success. I was wondering if Gade was going to just flash himself through for a second.
Well, they've certainly had money for the AWP. They've just been opting against it. They've had a lot of success with these rifles, and it's Cajun B who's the man who's putting up the numbers. Currently sitting 24 to 12, really leading the charge on this server. And for his side, MSL seems to be hyper aware there could be someone on this deep angle, but does he check it? No, he doesn't. That's going to be a free kill for Hooksy. He actually finds himself 1 more as well. The position's now known, but it can be such a difficult one to clear. And, well, through his efforts, he's managed to level out the numbers. Refresh has done further work, and it leaves it all down to Cajun B, the man that found the initial kill, got them some equity over towards that B bomb site, is now the man that has to pick up the pieces and try and clutch up this 1v3.
He certainly has been the heaviest fragger on this T side for North. He's on 24 frags. He needs to add 3 to this tally. He's going to convert this, but with the bomb in no man's land, the conversion already in place. Look at this crossfire. Despite the HP being fairly low on refresh, he needs to take this man out first, and that's a very clean shot. Cajun B, not really with a chance, though. Only 10 seconds left. That bomb's still out in the open. He's played this one a little too slowly, M&J. That does allow Existence onto 11 rounds, but without doing a hell of a lot of damage here. I mean, the Existence economy really isn't going to be too much. Cajun B does die after time, but he's still got plenty of cash in the reserve. 12-11, we see a full buy from North.
I'm actually quite surprised there was an AWP at Cajun B's feet there. I thought he was just going to grab the AWP, jam himself in a corner, and stay alive. Of course, instead he falls. Existence bring it to within 1. Now the buy up from them as well. Hector's with that AWP in hand that was retrieved in the last. They can level this one out. They're in a good position. They reset the economy of their opponents, and it's Hector's to find the opener. That's the bomb down outside, almost connecting the second flick as well. That would have been fantastic. Nonetheless, he's given them the man advantage once again. And for now, no trade potential.
Existence finally starting to shut it down, and really off the back of Hector's AWP. It really does feel like when their economy is nice and low, Hector's has just really like a lack of success. But obviously with the AWP in hand, see what he can do once again. The FAMAS just gesturing for a bit of information outside. Now falling back to Secret once again. Existence playing a very passive defense, giving North absolutely nothing to work with. And as we tick down below the minute mark towards 50 seconds, you're in round number 24. MSL needs to make a decision. What are the troops going to do? Perhaps into this A site, which does seem fairly isolated. They do have Refresh playing deep inside this corner. Finally Molotov'd out, and there's no smoke to take him to task. Heavy damage dealt. Queenix needs to be second on the response, but it's only trades. Nodios finds another, leaving Gade another 1 versus 2 to do. Here on this A bomb site, wants to tap those digits in before the smoke dissipates towards Mini. But I don't think he can get to a saving grace position. Wants to hold heaven for both of these frags. Might have even heard the scope of Hector's as he's searching towards heaven one more time. Pistols out. Connects one shot. He only needs one more bullet, and Hector's does it again. That's 12 to 12 Existence. They close this scoreline.
That looked incredibly dangerous. As soon as we can see those X-rays, he finds that first kill. He knows that Hector's was in heaven, but he had to take the fight. There was no chance of him crossing over to Hart, playing the round with the time. Instead, he had to go for the gunfight, and it just didn't work out for him. Now we sit 12 to 12. North haven't really got the money in the bank for a full buy here. They are actually going to go for the investment nonetheless, but it's going to be a couple of Galils, a Mac-10, some limited utility on a couple of these guys as well. Really not the best of buys, and in my mind, the only way that they get this done is with some pace. That Molotov going to deny them of that, especially with Hector's finding that opener through the smoke as well. That's fantastic.
He spots absolutely nothing there. Obviously, here's the footsteps, but heading downstairs, North even taking a casualty. And it seems to be always Hector's hitting these opening shots. Queenix does have this angle under guard. Trying to play a long distance angle with the MP9. I probably wouldn't advise this. Just jumping for the information and probably won't take too much of a fight. I love that boost. It does fall on deaf ears, and now they can try and swarm Queenix on this B site. He does have pressure from behind, but that's a lovely headshot. And now the Molotov might force him out in a way. Probably needs to backtrack right through it towards the squeaky door, but the reinforcements, M&J, they're already here, and there's no way out for North. Perhaps they go towards the A bomb site, but Hector's once again, he's waiting here. Another triple kill, puts Existence onto 13, and they are definitely looking more dominant now on this CT side.
They really are. And not only did they take the lead once again, we've seen this throughout this entire game where it's been bouncing back and forth. We've seen a team go one round in the lead, then goes back the other way, and they're trading, but just back and forth the entire match. But at this stage, you put yourself onto 13, you become dangerously close to that magic number. And right now, with North's economy just in pieces, there's no opportunity for them to buy into this one. I'd actually be very, very surprised if they go for any kind of investment here whatsoever. It allows Existence onto 14, and then you're playing a real dangerous game.
Yeah, super dangerous. The money trickling down to the lurky depths where they cannot buy. There should certainly be a 14th on the board. Yes, Existence, they've lost 2 anti-ecos this series, or this map, in fact, both on their T side. But this one is looking, well, even more damaging, I guess. There's not even one set of Kevlar on this North roster. AZ hits a headshot nonetheless, and that might change the game plan here for North. Maybe they linger outside, try and find a second mistake. Realistically, Nodios does trade it, and Existence still do have rifles in hand, so a big advantage here against just a couple of pistols, the double deagle, a couple of Glocks as well. But hitting headshots like this is exactly the way to go. AZ's doing tremendous amounts of damage, but it's probably not going to be good enough in this 26th. I think we knew what the conclusion of this would be. Electro finding another one, and he should be probably gunning for that AWP right now. With Hector's eliminated, there definitely is an opportunity with an AK in hand. I don't know where that AWP was dropped, So I don't know if it is retrievable, and now that does seem impossible. Well, there it is. Right in the back of garage. Bomb dropped in the open. Guess Lecro will probably try and pitch in for some bonus damage.
Yeah, this is a difficult one for Lecro. He absolutely has to go for this. There's no real point in saving, but as he walks straight into Queen, the MP9's going to tear him apart. Of course, he had no Kevlar, so there was no way he's winning that gunfight. As soon as a bullet connects with him, his crosshair goes sky high. This is going to be the full investment now from North. No warp available, though. I'm not sure if MSL would have wanted it. We saw them earlier on in the half with the money for that AWP, and they actually just don't opt for it. But now in the 27th, they have everything to play for.
Absolutely so. AK-47s in hand all around. And this is a must-win opportunity for Team North. They're just playing a fairly slow creeping style on this T side. I haven't really seen anything massively aggressive thus far. And realistically, I feel like North have been doing the same sort of thing every single round. Heading outside, maybe even challenging Hector's AWP a little too much. Of course, Existence, they're fairly well set up to deal with these secret pushes. And North, I'd like to see them go elsewhere, especially with Hector seemingly hitting everything. There's the Molotov to go down to create a stalemate. It's one that Lecro cannot push through on 15 points of health. And Existence, again, a slight advantage going into this 27th. Refresh, he gets his head blasted off. And now an opportunity once again for North. They know exactly where Queenix is playing from. Here comes the trades. And AZ does find the second. It's a barn burner outside. There should be 13 for North as Hector's forced to save.
I'm not sure if it's this lifeline adrenaline. I'm not sure if it's somewhat of a choke from Existence. But we always seem to see this, especially from a side like North. As soon as their backs are against the wall, they come out into a round that's an absolute must-win for them, and they come out swinging. This is eerily close. I don't think KGB checks behind this box. I think this is actually Hector's kill. Surely. How has he not walked into his crosshair yet? Oh
no.
Wow.
Oh my
no.
lord. How does this happen? Oh no. That is just about as sad as it gets.
The AWP just disappeared. This is a magic map, Squid.
Did it vanish? Oh, please replay. We need the replay. Did the AWP vanish? I missed it. I was scratching my eye, M&J. And then this happens.
He knives him.
It's gone. It's gone. Oh my lord! Twice in one map. That's I don't think I've ever seen that before. Not in either of those two positions. That's very peculiar.
Absolutely is. That is bad.
That's such madness. I don't know if Cajun B was going for the AWP anyway. He kind of was. It did look like he was searching for it, but do you really want a double up setup on the T side of Nuke? I don't think so. I think it's actually a positive that all vanished right there. I guess it went inside the box.
Oh no. Well then. Double spray from Hooksy. 2 headshots through the smoke, and that might just be what does it. That might be what puts Existence on to match point here. What a crazy play. North
I was right through the corner of that smoke then as well. He didn't really seem to have a lot of information, and with the smokes down and away, I don't know what North have left in the tank here in round number 28. Of course, AZ just searching for these shots, but Hooksy triples it up. Beautiful round from the man. And now this should be an easy shut away for Existence. Just try to peer through these smokes onto the A bomb site. But Lecro has to do something spectacular. And being fully flashed out isn't going to help his chances. It's going to whittle more and more time off this clock. They have to walk into the triple defense, which is this A bomb site. Queenix has a Lovely position as well, which I think is going to go unchecked. And a flawless round for Existence. Helped out by Hooks' triple kill. But that conversion on the A bomb site, just standing in position, puts North in a catastrophe going into round number 29.
It absolutely does. They have got a little bit of money. In fact, they've got a fair amount of money. That's really the only saving grace here. I don't know why Cajun B's bank's looking so weak, but Letcro should be able to drop something. In fact, no, that's not going to be the case. Letcro's actually going to opt for that full utility instead. Cajun B just down to the pistol. I'd like to see Letcro maybe drop him a Mac 10 here. Maybe not. Maybe he just goes with that Deagle. He's been doing pretty well with it so far today. This is really a must-win round for North, though. The absolute definition of one. They have to win 2 in a row to take this one to OT. Otherwise, Existence are going to be taking this first map and have an opportunity to take it 2-0 as we move over to Vertigo, which is pretty comfortable territory for them as well.
15-13, that all-important AWP still in the hands of Hector's. Likewise, Glaive. Obviously not Glaive, MSL. Getting the in-game leaders wrong, of course. Doesn't have one himself. 1 minute 40 on the board, and they're going to challenge Hector's outside once again. He misses that first shot, uncharacteristically so. Helped out by Hooksy. There's lots of damage being dealt through this smoke as they sneak down to Secret. A 4 versus 4. Hazy's right in the back lines. It's a 1-tap to finish, and that's the A bomb site decimated. Should be a 14th on the board here for North. I guess Refresh and Nodios should be looking to save these rifles, considering the money. It's fairly broken, M&J. $1,400 loss bonus. There's not really a lot in the tank for these 5 players. $2,650 is the most they have to play with. That gives Hooksy $4,000 to invest into the next. This is really touch and go territory. We might certainly be seeing overtime on our first map of these semifinals.
Absolutely. And this is quite an important map for Existence to win. If they don't convert nuke here, I don't massively favor their chances on Vertigo. And we could quite easily see another 2-0. But that's only if North can win the follow-up round, and then actually win the overtime. Of course, they'll start off on the T side on their overtime, which, to be fair, they haven't had a terrible T half. This has actually been a pretty good T half to be able to take the rounds that they've taken. I think they gave up an initial lead here at the start of the half, and that allowed Existence to get quite close to the finish line. Right now, though, you're absolutely right. The Existence economy really isn't too good. Not a lot of utility on a couple of these players. For masses on 2 as well. And utility is such a huge factor here on a map like Nuke. They absolutely have to have it. I think North are just going to abuse that. Play this slow.
Absolutely a must-win round for Existence. They don't want this to go to OT. Of course, with a fairly wholesome buy, 2 Famases picking up the mix for Queenix and Nodios. Let's see if they can get the job done towards the ramp room. North aren't watching towards this side of the map. Of course, Cajun B has his attention diverted between Squeaky Door, where he does spot Refresh. This is a key gunfight. Refresh wins it, backtracks to the A site, and now Existence can turtle down with a man lead here in round number 30. That was a massive risk, but one that does pay dividends somehow. Taking away the top fragger for North. Cajun B, yes, he's gone a little bit quiet over on this T side, but he's had a great map overall. Let's see if it'll be enough here to get North to OT. A 5 versus 4. Nodios has this angle completely under wraps. And what is the game plan here for North? They seem to be heading downstairs, just looking for these opening frags, and with Refresh catching the back of AZ, he's gone as well. Spots out Letcro, cannot connect the shot, but all the pieces are falling around these final 2, leaving Letcro in a 1 versus 4. He's got so much work to be done. Has swept 2 out of the server, retrieved that C4. Going down to B would probably be the best bet. Doesn't want to challenge both of these players. I don't think he knows that both members are here on the A bomb site. Wants to slip downstairs. Really doesn't have a lot of time left. That Molotov is going to catch out Queenix and actually take him down. This bomb can go away. And Letcro an opportunity at the 1 versus 4. This is a great position. Sneaking right on top of the rafters. And Hector's, he's got Not his trusty AWP in hand, but an M4A4 instead. And I think the squeaky door might actually be closed. Hector's needs to negotiate his way out. He's making so much noise in Lecro. He forces overtime here on our first map of the semi-finals.
That was an ace. That was an ace, Squid, in that final round. A 1 versus 4 for him to clutch up. A huge mistake made by Queenix and some incredible shots, kicking things off with a fantastic headshot. Then he comes through with more as well. This is just incredible to find that spray and then isolate those final 2 players. I mean, what on earth?
Oh.
I understand what Queenix is doing there, because his plan is if he can get through that Molotov and survive, if he denies the plant, well, if he finds the kill, of course, then like that's round over. But he knows that Lecro has to go for the plant, so he thinks, right, I can get free kill here. But he just doesn't anticipate how much damage that Molotov's actually going to take. That is unbelievable.
That's unreal. A 1 versus 4 ace to force overtime. That's got to feel good. And now, right back in the game, back to evens once more. Hector's with the AWP, of course. We're playing with $16,000 on both rosters. MSL so close to hitting that shot.
Well, it's Cajun B to find the opener. North have got to be fired up after that. Counter-Strike, it's such a momentum-based game. It's such a morale-based game. As soon as a big clutch comes through, all of a sudden you have loads of adrenaline. That's what we see from North right now. And again, I mean, look at this control. Once again, it's Cajun B. We've seen him on this kind of lurk roll a lot so far on this T side of Nuke, where he just dances around the map. He manages to wriggle his way down vents, and he can get right in the back lines. And when the execute does come through, he's the backstabber. He's the man that makes the pincer work.
Existence definitely not out of this one yet, but losing all of these duels. And AZ, he's doing it again. 2 quick kills. Cajun B fires through with another double. There's no point in Queenix saving. They've got max cash, the ability to buy into all 3 of these rounds of OT. It certainly does look like 16, unless he finds a 1 versus 4 of his own. And this looks even more difficult. He gets taken away by Lecro again. 16 to 15 here for North as they take a short lead on this T side. Remember, both of those halves in regulation, it did look like Existence held the upper hand pretty much from start to finish. Nice 7-round streak on their T side. Going on to their CT side, it was actually a fairly good start. They had won the pistol. That's pretty much when you lose here on Nuke. But as we get into further rounds, North 16. I think they're wanting 2 or 3 on this T side to try and close this out. And then we go onto their home turf of Vertigo.
Well, as soon as they have to, they come out. All guns blazing. They've taken the lead here. They're looking to find another as well. And I like the way they're playing this. It's slow, it's methodical. Oh my, Nodius. A little bit ambitious there to go for that push through the smoke with the flash. He's going to get caught off for it. That's going to be the man advantage for the T side now. And with 1:05 on the clock, now they can start to aggress further. Take away some more control and lean towards a bomb site.
It's all round, and Hooksy instantly goes down. That's a big problem maker, especially with Hector's missing that initial shot. Gives away ramp control. That smoke really does mean that he cannot challenge this specific angle, especially with MSL at the ready, who he's been hitting all of the shots on this T side, and now another disadvantageous situation for Existence. A really messy round. Just considering they lose that ramp control fairly early, North now sole proprietors of this B bomb site. And how do Existence get back into this one? I guess they need an opening frag, and maybe Hector's can slam things through with that AWP from Ramp Room, but MSL completely shuts it away. This won't be a save, considering both of these players do have maximum money and the ability to buy into the next. Texas has plenty of cash, but I guess there's just no chance in this one. 17 for North, that's 2 for 2 on their T side.
This is a very, very good start for North. Of course, their CT side wasn't the best. We have to remember back to the first half, which seems like ages ago, where they actually were only able to take, what was it, 8 rounds on their CT side. Let's kick things off in overtime, take the first 2. Obviously, this is 16k overtime, so the bank's not broken of existence. They can, of course, afford a full buy in each of these rounds. But if North can convert the third, I think this is quite possibly all said and done. If Existence bounce back now and take one, then that's their lifeline that they need.
Yeah, I really do think we have to talk about that ace once again from Lecro. That definitely seems to be a bit of a turning point here. Existence haven't seemed like the same team since. And Hooksy again just missing shots outside. He was classically taking doubles and triples for his troubles. And this time just unable to connect with any shots. A fair bit of damage has been dealt. But with the Molotovs just sandwiching him inside, he's forced into a really awkward position where he has to take the gunfights up close and personal. He is delaying and denying, but it's Lecro again with a headshot to force us back into a 2 versus 2. Him and Cajun B, 2 of the more stable members of that respective Swedish and Danish scene. Now looking to push them over the top onto 18. Phoenix and Nodios. Phoenix is just holding ground. Is Nodios going hunting throughout? Cajun B, if he checks this angle, there's an opportunity to force this into a 1 versus 2. They know that Queenix plays upon this A site, so maybe darting down to B might be the better option, but there are the footsteps and the first, and he's not going to check for Cajun B, and it's a running and gunning headshot to finish off the first half. That's 18. North only need 1 more to get us to Vertigo, 1 map up.
Cajun B's woken up again. He's sitting on 31 frags. And this is what I was talking about. This adrenaline from North off of the back of that ridiculous clutch. They're all fired up. And I'm sure it's going to be quite the opposite for Existence right now. On every single one of these players, what's going to be looping, it's going to be playing on their mind, is the fact that in round number 30, they could have very, very easily closed it out 16-14. It was a 4 versus 1. They made a series of huge mistakes. And now they're in this position where they're on the verge of losing their map pick. This is semi-finals time. There's no second chances. There's no lower bracket. They've let it all slip away. They need 3 consecutive rounds to take it to a second overtime. There's no more chances here for this Existence side, despite their fantastic performance so far. For now, it's just not good enough.
No, absolutely no secondary opportunities whatsoever. As you said, it has to be 3 out of 3 to force us to OT number 2, and I almost just cannot see that happening right now. North are going to get a full buy in each and every one of these trio of CT rounds. And remember, they're on the CT side of Nuke. This is classically quite a defensive-heavy map, and MSL starts us off strong. Nice AWP pick. He's going to temporarily decide to backtrack, just throwing that nade on through, maybe even wanting to hold serve and get aggressive through the corner of that smoke. Hector's, he's got no idea, as MSL wants to gun for even more. He maybe even needs to find 3 or 4. Existence heading downstairs. I don't know if North are hyper aware of this one. So with Lecro hidden inside the heaven angle, he doesn't know that these 2 teams have slipped down to ramp and towards this B bomb site, which is totally unprotected for North. They've got nobody downstairs by the looks of things, apart from MSL, who's playing within the vents, but unable to maybe prevent any bomb going down in a way. And it's straight back up to A. This is towards the majority of this stack. A bit of a fake thrown through. And now North, I guess they'll be outmaneuvered and caught out of position. Perhaps an opportunity for existence, especially with the Molotov isolating Lekro inside the vents. North need to now head towards Mini, play this one as a trio. But this is realistically all down to Nodios. Queenix, yes, he can run distraction from heaven. He's got one flash to try and bail Nodios out of a bit of trouble. But this map might be over right here, right now. That's a lovely angle. Nodios holds up the line for 2. And now MSL's AWP needs to do absolutely everything. Yes, he's got an HE, but not enough time to get the job done. Because Nodios might have just extended this series. 3 quick kills. They're all headshots. And it's 18-16 as Existence survive.
Wow. Look at this again. Nodios, he's gone absolutely huge to keep his team in this one. That was an opportunity for North to put it to bed. They've still got 2 more chances, though. And even if they don't take those 2 chances, then we go into another overtime. And I'm sure North don't want to be going there. Oh, another timeout. We saw this again earlier.
Yeah, we have seen a couple of techs. As I always say, it's not online CS without a cheeky little technical pause. So we will be resetting this round. Gives the teams, I guess, a little opportunity to talk things through. Phoenix doing his best Super Mario impression. Yahoo! It's me, Mario. Ahoo. That's my best Super Mario impression. Well, maybe not my best, but it's an attempt at least. Yahoo!
That one was good. That was a good one.
There we go. I gave it my all. That's the thing with impressions, M&J. Is if you don't give them 100%, they fall completely flat. It's either 0% or 100%. There's no in between.
Well, I don't know. I'm not the best with impressions. I remember once I really wanted to learn a Kermit the Frog impression, and I devoted a lot of time to try and do it, but I just can't do it.
Well,
Yeah,
let's hear it. Let's go. You've already said it now.
I butcher it, so I can't do it. Otherwise, I would, but.
Well, I know. You know what? Get some practice in. Get some real Kermit hours through, and at the end of the semi-final, maybe we'll hear it.
All right. I just think it'd be a cool party trick.
That is a cool party trick. I'll show you my party trick after the broadcast.
Oh, okay then.
18-16. Just a slow style from Existence. North actually giving away quite a lot of map control, and they seem to be aware that AZ is playing in the back of Garage. Will they actually beat this angle? Queenix totally flashed. That's great utility usage from Cajun B as it's all fallen apart. Another clutch needed. We did see a 2 versus 3 in the previous round, but this, Jay, is way harder. A 2 versus 5 with the bomb dropped all the way out in the open. The crossfire's already established. MSL's up. It really couldn't get much worse. Hooksy does find a headshot, but they need to do something spectacular right now. They need to get to the top of Reddit if they're going to pull back this clutch. I just almost don't see it happening. MSL's also got the angle posed through. There's another AWP shot in, and Hector's needs to do it all. The man with the golden gun, the big orange pointing stick, heading onto the A bomb site. He's just going to charge his way in. There's the headshot to finish it through. It's Cajun B to fittingly end our action here on Nuke. And what a comeback for North. Yes, they were 15-13 down, but they were pretty much behind since the start. It was that 1 versus 4 ace for Lekro to really just force them back into overtime when it really mattered. Imagine being in a 1 versus 4. The score is 15-14, and that is the play to bring you back in the map. That is definitely a turning point in this series. And Jay, we head over to Vertigo next. It's North's home pick.
Yeah, that was a really rough one for Existence. That was absolutely their map for the taking. They let it slip away. And I mean, credit where credit's due. That was an incredible clutch from Lecro. He did very, very well to isolate those fights, which is very difficult in a 1 versus 4 situation. But Existence, you can't help but say it, they played it horribly. They had an opportunity to just go for a double peak early on. That would have shut that down before he'd even got down the vents. They had an opportunity to just wait out the Molotov and play the 2 versus 1, which again, almost certainly would have gone their favor. It allowed North back in, and then they just abused it. As soon as you leave that door open just a crack, they're just going to burst through. They're going to abuse it, and that's exactly what they did. A fantastic performance from them, and I really fancy their chances going over to Vertigo as well, which is their pick. They're super confident on it, and well, yeah, a fantastic scoreline and a really exciting first map here for our semi-finals today.
Well, those are the scores on the doors. It's an overtime victory for Team North as we go onto their home territory of Vertigo next, right after this very short break. Don't go very far. We'll be back with these semi-finals in about 10 minutes' time. Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Eden Arena Malta Vibes. My name's Squid, and we are deep into this semi-final. North, what a comeback there on Nuke. They were 15-13 down, but that doesn't show the whole story. Lecro with a beautiful 1 versus 4 ace just to get them to OT and then eventually take it over the top there in overtime number 1. Obviously taking that OT 4-1. Really impressive stuff from North there. I'm just really impressed with this roster, the sticking power. 15-13 down, you're at a 1 versus 4. That is when you finish. That's when you're done and dusted. And realistically, it was Cajun B. Actually, on the CT side, doing the overwhelming majority of the damage. They wouldn't have had a single chance on that CT side if it wasn't for his doubles and triples that we saw just all through that map. 32 kills to end things off. And of course, it's the man that we're just used to talking about at this point, Hector's, with that AWP, finding so many openings. They're on the A site, also having a great CT side himself. Jay, I just think that was such a great first map for North. Obviously, shakes on that first half, but what do you make of them going into Vertigo?
Well, you're absolutely right. It was so incredible, and I really do fancy their chances going into Vertigo. This performance from Cajun B really shows the wealth of talent on this north side and how much experience they have and how actually any player can step up, yeah? We saw MSL, the man yesterday that was putting up these incredible numbers, leading the charge for his side, and that's what took them to victory against Galaxy Racer in the quarterfinals. Now we come into today's match against X6TENCE. Cajun B is the man who's putting up 32 frags in that initial nuke match. And I think that he'll continue that in going into Vertigo as well. And even if he doesn't, if it's someone else that steps up to the plate, it's just every single player on that side is so talented and absolutely capable of putting up the numbers. Even Lecro proving that with his ace on round number 30, saying, right, it's my time now. Like everybody else, they've been putting up their numbers. It's my time now. I need to step up. I need to make a big play. And that's exactly what he did. And I think that it's so difficult when you're X6TENCE, you're playing against a side like North. Not only is it daunting just because of like the brand and the history of this roster, but actually the fact that you know that even when you're in a 4 versus 1 situation and it should just be a free round for you, there's still a chance that it slips away.
Absolutely so. And I think that X6TENCE will be kicking themselves. They didn't win this map. They should have absolutely just taken it over the top 16-14 right there. Really disappointing stuff from them, just not having this closing power once again. And I actually started off this series by saying that yesterday against Gambit Youngsters, they had some issues closing on that third and final map of Mirage. Just really shaky stuff. They get these big leads and then occasionally they blunder them. Luckily, they got to these semifinals yesterday off the back of just such an overwhelmingly one-sided first performance, and Gambit Youngsters just couldn't bring back. I think it was 14-9 and 15-10 at one point, and Gambit Youngsters just weren't good enough in that series. They definitely had a couple of issues themselves, but here North, that CT side of Nuke, did prove a little bit problematic. Now they go onto that home territory of Vertigo, where I think they'll be feeling a lot more confident. Of course, a big clutch like that, clutching out a map and really just stealing it right under the noses of X6TENCE. That's got to feel great in such a competitive semi-final.
Absolutely. Now, my only fear here for X6TENCE going into Vertigo is in the pre-game, I had the opportunity to have a little bit of a deeper look into the map and actually their history on it. Now, initially I said both teams are pretty comfortable on Vertigo. They've got a high win rate on it. But when you really dive into that, you actually realize that X6TENCE's wins on Vertigo, other than the Gambit Youngsters win, have actually been against Beacon, who are a team that we just don't really see at this tier, Mew, who are a Russian mix, who I have seen recently, but they're nothing that really stands out, the Lingby Vikings, who aren't really on the same kind of level as North, and you start to realize that actually it's a real different caliber because this team plays in other leagues. We still, as you mentioned, like the One Tap League, and they've been in like the IEM New York qualifiers and things like that. They've had the opportunity to play against some of these lower tier teams, and it means that they've racked up a relatively high win rate. but it's not in correlation to actually North's wins on Vertigo, which have been against some real giants. They've won it against NIP, against not Hellraisers isn't really a giant, but like Sprout, Saw, Movistar Riders. They've had some big names that they've won against, and I think that's something that I didn't really account for before, and it's definitely a factor that comes into play when you're playing against a side that not only are a higher tier than you, but a much higher tier than your recent opponents.
Yeah, and realistically, we watched North play Vertigo, not just yesterday, but against Sprite over in Group D. They played it against Saw and Sprite, taking wins both times. They seem to have a really well-versed T side. When they go on to CT, where a couple of teams here in this sort of tier and play seem to have real problems, North, that wasn't the case. It was MSL Zorping once again to really bring them over the top, just challenging a ramp, which realistically, that's the key gunfight here on this particular map. You'll look towards, of course, Existence to try for that A bomb site time after time. And then when North gets onto that T side, maybe sooner or later, we'll see how the knife round goes. They usually have a pretty good attack. They've got a really well-versed smoke setup towards A, which is pretty common for any top teams who like to play Vertigo. Either way, we're getting onto this second map of the day with the knife round. Let's see who's going to take either side here on Vertigo. I'm excited. This is going to be a good one, I think. Obviously, both of these teams have played a bit of Vertigo recently, as we said. North definitely the favorites coming into this second map, and I'm sure that we'll see the odds in just a few moments. This time, it's actually Existence taking the knife, so will they go for that T side, CT? It's a bit of a dilemma here on Vertigo, but it does look like it's going to be that CT-sided start for Existence. I don't think North are going to care about this too much. Their T-side's great. This isn't a massive disadvantage from them by any means. And yeah, realistically, I think North can play both sides for this map. It's not like Nuke, for instance, where that T side is a lot harder. If you lose that knife round, you usually put your opponents on the back foot. And yeah, here on Vertigo, it's just very different territory.
Yeah, it's really that question, isn't it? You often see on Vertigo, it's a real ballsy play to opt for that T side. And looking at the odds from our partners over at LeapBet, they are heavily favoring North going into this Vertigo game off of the back of the win on Nuke. This is, of course, their map pick. They're super confident with it as well. We could certainly be seeing a 2-0 here, as long as North come out the gates hot.
Yeah, let's see what they've got in the tank. Existence love to go for this 4-man stack towards the A bomb site. Seems pretty common nowadays. And they are winning all of the fights towards ramp. AZ also drops a 2 versus 4 already, getting completely shut away by the USPSs. Headshots galore for Existence. They start us off strong.
It's actually hoopty to find a 4K there as well. That's such a fantastic stack that completely eliminates any kind of early control from North. Even if they weren't going to commit to it, it just taking that ramp control is a huge piece of map control. And yeah, Existence just completely deny it. They put their first round on the board. They assert their dominance early on. I'm interested to see, Squid. Are we going to see this smoke again at some point? The Observer always follows it now in case it goes out the map. It's my favorite smoke.
We've kind of brought that to the limelight, I feel. I guess we haven't brought much to the Counter-Strike scene, but one thing that we have brought to this kind of tier 2, tier 3 scene of play is the attention paid to that ramp smoke.
It's just because I think it does it on any HUD as well, where it actually just goes out the map and you just kind of see the smoke just go across the screen and bloom.
It's so derpy.
I like it. I think they should leave it.
It's my favorite thing about Vertigo. Of course, we're talking about when the CTs misthrow that ramp smoke, miss the railing that it has to bounce against, and then it just whizzes out of the map, right off the HUD into the middle of the screen. It's my favorite bug, I've got to say that much, but this time Existence, they seem to be hitting it every single time. They're actually going for a slightly different smoke, funnily enough, not the one from the CT spawn. Right through that window, bounces against that same railing that you just saw onto ramp. Instead, they're throwing a far more consistent one where you just kind of line it up with that railing, with that sort of like pole. They like to put Queenix solo on this B side, so let's see if he can hold up. And this time, apparently not, as North pretty much just burst away on. This was a bit of a bonus for Existence, and maybe even just an early save. They've got the AWP in the hands of Hectors, which they cannot afford to lose. And with North already on the hunt, you see Cajun B right down to the bottom of B stairs. He's going to be looking towards this ramp area. If Existence lose even just one player here, it really does stunt their buy in the next round. I think they can afford to lose maybe just the Famus, but if two players go down, leaving maybe just the AWP alive, they're in a real problem-making zone going into round number 4. I don't think that's going to happen, though, considering North, they want to keep all 5 players alive. They really do want to build this bank on the T side.
Yeah, this is really good for their economy, keeping 5 players alive. Existence, that was a must-save for them. That was actually very good that they managed to save those 3 rifles and get the call in time before someone charges in to go for some kind of hero play, and then all of a sudden you don't have the money to buy into the next. Of course, it was a bonus, but there was a huge reinvestment from Hector's, which means that had he have fallen, he'd have had no money going into this one. So round number 4, North, they've clawed 1 back. They have an opportunity to level things out, but they have to actually face up against a pretty healthy buy here from Existence. This is a complete full buy with the deficit of a FAMAS on Queen, so it is certainly going to be a difficult one to break, especially with this early aggression over towards ramp. Hooksie's managed to get himself in a really nice position. Often goes unchecked, but he's got his gun on his back, and MSL is going to capitalize.
Existence falling apart at the seams once again. Last time towards the B-bomb site. This time that A ramp fight lost. That pistol round win, almost a distant memory at this point, considering this might even be breaking point for the Existence economy. You see that they've got maybe $4,000 or $5,000 between the 5 of them, averaging very, very little money here. They do need to check Queenix. If he can find maybe 2 or 3 kills, then there is an opportunity here. But North do slam it away, and Hector's AWP has been exposed. With the flank in full effect, Lekro should be able to rid this sniper from the server. And you can see that they're actually delaying this bomb plant just to allow Lekro into position. It finally goes down, and the opportunity to pick up an AWP, asking MSL if he wants it, but apparently not. The 5 AK-47 setup's the priority for North going into round number 5.
That's quite an interesting one, and it somewhat makes sense on a map like Vertigo. You're playing the numbers with these rifles, especially with the aim that some of these guys have. It can certainly be favored. A couple of big mistakes made last round, though, from Existence. Hooksy up close on ramp. If you're playing close to that smoke, you can't be the utility man. You have to have a support player to throw that flash for you. As soon as you pull out a piece of utility and throw it, you effectively put your pants down at your ankles, throw your gun up in the air and say, come kill me, because if they're up close, as soon as you throw something, they're just going to swing you. That's exactly what happened. Right now, they're all stacked up with these pistols. There's actually an opportunity for them to find a couple of kills. I think it's more than likely they just get completely mowed down. Well, it's a bit messy. There we go.
And there is the shutaway. I mean, AZ does drop. That's 1 AK-47. Not really going the way of Existence because it's completely unretrievable there in the crossfire. But this will be an easy 3rd round for North. You see them still taking their time here on the A site, making sure that Queenix isn't able to find a secondary frag. Of course, that P250 now coming down through the flank. Probably shouldn't be able to find all too much here. The first man to challenge him, I think, is MSL, who is fairly low on HP, but playing behind those sandbags. There's lots and lots of cover here on A ramp. I think Queenix will actually just dart into this one and try and find a little cheeky kill, maybe allowing somebody to go up in flames with this bomb for North. And Well, there's the spot, and MSL is able to find the frag without going down. So 3-2. North, a good little lead before we get into the second rifle round for Existence.
You know what's scary? And it's something that I've completely overlooked over these last couple of rounds. MSL's on 10k, and Letcrow and Gade aren't far behind him either. So the North economy, obviously they went 2-0 down. They've managed to string together 3 in a row, but they've kept so many players alive in these rounds that they've won that they haven't had to reinvest at all. And they've managed to just rack up their economy. They've got tons of money in the bank, and it means that even if Existence wins by round, there's still 2 left in the tank for North. They don't want to lose this buy round, though. They're coming in charging. They've found this opening pick. They've taken the ramp control early on, even clearing sandbags as well. So it's a position they don't have to worry about any longer. And the trade coming through on mid makes sure that the numbers still stay in North's favors as they thin out the defenses. They're yet to commit to anything. This is what's so good about North. They're able to poke some holes in the defense, but not overcommit. They just regroup and they say, right, what are we going to do here? We've got the man advantage. We know there's only 3 men left. Do we want to backtrack and head over towards B? Do we want to continue to aggress over towards this A site? For now, it's looking like the latter with a minute left on the clock.
And that's a massive advantage, right? Because when North do up the pace, it seems to catch Existence completely off guard. And now the push is finally coming through to A. Yes, there's a double defense, but it puts a lot of pressure on Hector's. Nodios wants to take it into his own hands, getting up close and personal. MSL instantly spots him, hearing all of those footsteps, and then goes the AWP as well. Round over, no opportunity for Queenix here in the 1 versus 4. There's just no chance to do anything other than save this sniper. And he'll bail out towards B. And, oh, what a backpack. But not swatting it away. North, they have all of the building blocks in place to take away this sniper one more time. That's 4-2 and back to eco territory for Existence.
Well, this is not the best of starts from them. They need to start finding their footing and pick it up. Otherwise, you give North too much control and they are just going to snatch it away from you. Interesting to see they had an opportunity to pick up another AWP there. They didn't opt for it. Still just sticking to these AKs. They've got tons of money in the bank as well. With 3 staying alive last round. Very little reinvestments needed. They just buy up the utility. Every single time, they just buy up the utility. They don't have to worry about anything else. And this round's going to be another opportunity for them to build their economy further. It becomes very, very dangerous.
Especially with 3 to 4 players alive in every single opportunity. You already touched on MSL being up towards $10,000. Lekra and Cajun B both in the 5-figure economy as well. So this is not going to get easier for Existence. And this is definitely the start to what might be a very T-sided half for North. And considering Existence had big problems on their terrorist half here on Vertigo just yesterday, I really do struggle to just understand how they are going to get back into this series. I'm looking at the win conditions for Existence right now, and they seem to be a bit null and void. I think they need to take 8 to 10 rounds on this counter-terrorist half, and they're almost running out of space. Here as North have already taken 5. It's looking like it's going to be at least a couple more. And how are Existence ever going to build up a sturdy economy when North will have rifles in rounds 8, 9, and 10 at least, maybe even round number 11 as well? This is just a massively uphill struggle that they have to fight and battle their way out of. And here comes the speed for North M&J. Right up ramp.
Just a couple of flashbangs allows them to take all the control that they need. So that's a lot of pressure onto Existence right now as they want to try and wriggle their way back in, but there's so many T's up close. That's a fantastic flash from Nodios. That's going to allow Hooksy to find that opening man. Tons of damage been dealt from those grenades as well. North might have to backtrack here, head over towards B where they've got Gade and Cajun B waiting for some aggression.
They've also got the bomb towards this side of the map, so it is actually quite a quick rotate for North. They don't have to spend tons of time getting from ramp straight into this A site, and Lecro's still running a distraction towards this side of the map. keeping 3 players towards the pointy letter. If he finds even 1 kill here, then that could have forced the rotates over and through. But now they have to do it all in a 2 versus 5. Gay doing a lot of damage. I don't know if there's an opportunity to plant this bomb here for KJB. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place and getting dinked and domed down. He wants to take further fights. There's the second opportunity of a bomb plant, and Hooksy, oh, he might just take the angle. That's even more money for North. KJB is going to backtrack. There's no nades for the man. Has to do this all with the AK-47, and backtracking towards these T-stairs is probably his best opportunity at ending this one. Hector's, oh, he's going to swing right into this. He goes down instantly, and now Hooksy needs to take this avenue of approach. Only just finds the frag for the third. That is incredibly touch and go. Existence, they do close this scoreline.
KJB brought that very, very close. I thought Existence would have just swung when he went for the plant. Now, let's talk about our partners over at Hellcase. If you're heading over there, make sure you use code MaltaV or MaltaV15 for a 15% refill bonus when you top up. Round number 9 now. Incredibly close.
MJ, I still don't know what a refill bonus is. Can you tell me?
It's when you top up your balance. So let's say you put on $10 onto Hellcase. If you use that code, you get a bonus of 15%. So you'll get $1.50 extra. So if you put $10 on, you'll actually get $11.50.
I see.
Yeah. Free money. Freemoney.com.
That might be a real website. I bet that is a real website.
What, where you click a button and get free money?
Yeah, it's like download more RAM.
Oh, yeah. Imagine if it worked, though, and just no one knew about it. All this time, you could be getting free money.
That's what Warren Buffett does.
It's the best kept secret. Now we've exposed it. Now everyone's going to use it. Everyone's going to be rich.
At least these 4,000 people. If we just keep it between us and nobody else knows. Oh, this is bad from Nodios. He's stuck all the way out in the open, and of course Gabe's going to find that opening kill. Hector's throws down a speedy smoke to just isolate these angles, but North might even just wait for these to dissipate before moving into the A site. They've got 35 seconds left on the clock and almost the full rotate on through. Refresh has the Famous in hand, so it really all is down to Hector's, who instantly falls. He's had, yeah, a couple of shakes early here on Vertigo, with North just hitting all of these shots. Again, a 1 versus 3 for Queenix. Instantly gets taken to task. 6-3 for North, as this scoreline might keep rolling considering Existence. They don't have much money going into this 10th. I think it might just be pistols, maybe a couple of sets of Kevlar. Really not too much to work with here on round number 10.
This economy management from North has been incredible. Every single round, they've either had a bomb plant, they've kept several players alive. And it means that currently we go into round number 10. It's 6-3. This is a pretty close scoreline, yeah? And North are sitting above 10k on the majority of their players. It's very, very difficult to break right now if you're Existence. If you break it early on, then there's an opportunity to pull back. But right now, North have got enough money in the tank that after this round, which they should convincingly win, they'll actually have enough money to just buy out for the rest of the half. And that means that Existence, not only do they need to claw back and start winning some rounds, but they don't even get given a break. If they win like 1 or 2 in a row, normally you'd see them then face up against an eco and they have an opportunity to then pull back a couple more, but they're not going to be given a break. They literally have to play against the rifles in every single round following this. And once again, we see North just fully take control. There's one Deagle headshot that comes through from the boost, and that's it.
Yeah, there's almost no opportunity for Existence here to force a freebie. We actually saw Vertigo played as the first in the series against Gambit youngsters. They went down pretty heavily as of the start and then had a really good second half, but I don't know if that's exactly possible here against North. They don't seem to be slowing down in any regard. This looks to be the building blocks towards a double-digit T side. I really do think that North could get towards the 10 to 12 mark incredibly early in this series, especially with these snappy headshots. You look at the fashion that they dispatch of these pistols, it's incredibly quick, 7-3, and it feels like we're barely 10 minutes into this second map.
Yeah, that's been the thing. A lot of these rounds have actually been very quick. We saw both of these teams running down the clock pretty low over on Nuke. That's not something we've seen here at all. I haven't actually found myself in a single round saying, oh, there's only 10 seconds left. He has to get onto the site and plant. North have either been quite methodical. They've found those opening kills early on, and then they group together and go for a site. Or there's just this incredible pace over towards ramp like we're seeing now. They find the opening pick, and then they just converge and overwhelm the site because of it. The smoke's going to go straight down on that Molotov. It will allow him to survive for now, but it does give away his position. Oh, he's allowed to cross out, though. This is now dangerous. Yeah, finds himself a headshot. Might even be able to get away here. I don't know why he's going for more. He's given his team the man advantage. He's thrown it away.
And just look at this trade potential from North. It feels like they've got all of the T's in place just to effectively trade onto all of these players. And Existence playing quite an isolated CT side where they're going for a lot of individual peaks. And when you're not hitting your shots, that game plan usually isn't the strongest. I know they have all of the information here and refresh a fast flank, but is he realistically going to get away with this? Especially if Queenix drops quickly. He has to be slow and meticulous with all of these corners. He has no idea if North are just lying in wait. And as a result, he's going to be slow to this B site. He would have been here quicker if he had just rotated through the A bomb site right here. And considering Queenix does pretty much instantly fall, Gade finishes off Refresh along with this 8th round, and its Existence slapped back into the dumpster. It's pistols once again. No opportunity to buy here in the 12th. North almost at double digits as of this point. This is certainly looking like a 2-0 here in this semi-final for North. As of that second half of Nuke, they seem to have found their ground in this series. I don't think it takes all too much to shake a Counter-Strike team's confidence, but North, they're definitely finding the key, the magic trick, the way. That Observer is desperate to catch off these smokes. I'm so happy that we've done this, that we've applied this pressure.
I want to see it. I want to see the smoke go down into the town. I want to see the cars go past. I want to see it happen, Squid. Right now, this is just dire for Existence. When you really think back, and I don't want to keep mentioning it, I'm sure it's playing in their minds so much, but the fact that they could have closed out Nuke very easily, and then they could have come onto Vertigo with a map under their belt. They could have had a lot of confidence, and instead North come through with some crazy clutch from Letcrow. Take it to overtime, absolutely dominate the overtime, and now come on to Vertigo with just tons and tons of confidence. And they are just absolutely dominating here. This first half of Vertigo, they're about to go 9-3. Everyone's going to be sitting above that 10k mark. We're actually going to have a couple of these players on the max cash bonus as well. This is absolutely dire for Existence.
Yeah, you're totally on the money there. When you consider that as of that overtime, North, they've only lost 4 rounds in total. They've pretty much been ultimately convincing, and this is going to be another one for them. They're 1 away from double digits. Existence seem to be completely stuck in the mud, and this is what's so scary about playing North on one of their more confident maps. We talked about the previous scalps that they've taken here on Vertigo, and when you actually dig into the statistics, they've taken wins against Singularity, Hellraisers, Movistar Riders, NIP, Saw, and Sprite. Those last 2 being in this very tournament in the last couple of days. And most of the heavy lifting actually done on the CT side there. I know that their T side is usually classically their best half, but here on Vertigo, it really does feel like they might be able to put together 11 or 12 rounds. As of this point, they only need 2 more on this T side to take 11. And then it's usually game over. It's usually curtains. And Existence, I think they'll just be disappointed that they didn't take Nuke, because a 3rd map would have definitely been on the cards here. I think even if Existence had have won Nuke, that this was pretty much how Vertigo was always going to play out. and we would have had that third and final map of Overpass, which is actually a pretty big North stronghold as well. Let's see if we get there first. Existence is a long road back, and 2 quick kills from HooXi. He loves playing around these smokes, and there's another pair for him.
Well, Overpass actually being a big stronghold for Existence as well in recent weeks, taking down ENCE, Mad Lions, Heretics. They've had some incredible wins against some incredible teams, but now they really have to fight to get there. They could have secured Nuke, and they could have absolutely guaranteed it. Instead, they're now 9-3 down. They are about to make it 9-4 unless LetCrow can come through with another crazy play. He has been a little bit dormant here on Vertigo, currently only sitting on 3 kills. Nonetheless, he's been a piece of the puzzle that's been working very, very well for North so far. Oh, not quite connecting with the head though. Millimeters off. That's going to allow Existence a 4th, and that really has to be a turning point for them. Of course, they have to face up against the fact that North have got tons and tons of cash, so they are just going to be able to reinvest into this one. Even if Existence take this round, North are just going to be able to have a full buy off of the back of it again. But this is their opportunity to maybe take 5, maybe take 6 rounds. It's not great for a CT side on Vertigo. In fact, it's not very good for a CT side on Vertigo, but it's not terrible. All things considered, a 9-6 half would be pretty good for them.
I think they'll be happy with that. On Vertigo, 6 is definitely acceptable, especially if you win that T pistol. It does put a lot of pressure on that second half pistol round. Of course, they've got a full buy now. So perhaps North, if they win this 14th, they can force up a really dodgy buy for Existence in the upcoming 15th. They've got to get there first. Finally, the AWP back in hand for MSL. He's a lot of the time actually been playing with this AK-47, wanting to change up that pace, really mix things up in the last couple of rounds. And MSL is actually going to head elsewhere. They've got lots of control all over this map. He's just watching a ramp, whereas North really just set up outside this B site, waiting for any aggression from any of these Existence members. Here's the very classic boost in place, and Phoenix, oh, he does spot it out, but loses the duel anyway. AZ didn't have any information, nonetheless beats Queenix to the punch. That's actually pretty sensational.
That is incredible. I'd love to see that from his POV, purely just down to the fact that that kill only really comes through when you catch someone off guard. When you put your head up and they're not watching it and they have to readjust their crosshair, you very rarely see someone actually watching for that boost and still losing the gunfight. And oh, these bullets are just going millimeters away from the heads. These North players, that spray seemed to cut a perfect circle around his head. And this is just going to be another save call for Existence. They don't have the money to reinvest this AWP into the next. They're going to have to fall right back. Hector's wants it in the 15th. But in the meantime, it allows North onto double digits here on the first half of Vertigo. That's going to be incredibly difficult to come back from.
Yeah, I really don't know what Existence have left in the tank. Of course, they'll bring these 2 rifles through to round number 15, but it won't be a lot outside of this. Maybe Hector's and Refresh can drop away rifles to perhaps HooXi and Queenix, leaving Nodios with perhaps just a Deagle. In theory crafting, but just before this bomb explodes, North are all ganging up outside of this B site. They don't need to worry about losing any members here. If they can take away any of these rifles and the AWP is gone, that's a big problem maker for Existence. That's a sniper that they just won't have in this 15th round. Nodios cannot afford to drop one over to Hector's, so it'll just be the rifles here for Existence. With that, no sniper rifle potential. The utility is looking pretty tragic for just Queenix and Hector's. A couple of nades elsewhere.
It's not going well for Existence. These key players not showing up either. Hector's was the man for Existence in that last map that was putting up those numbers and taking those initial angels, giving his team the man advantage round after round. This time he's on 4 frags as we go into the 15th, with no AWP available as well. Nodios was the only man that could afford one, but he couldn't afford Kevlar. So if Hector's had 5k, then maybe he could justify going for that glass cannon. We've seen him go for it a few times so far this series, but Nodios can't justify buying an AWP and having no Kevlar himself. He's not comfortable with the weapon, and he can't drop it over to Hector's because then he's completely redundant. And very nice opening shot from MSL. He's going to take down Hooksy. It's traded out. Now a 4-on-4 with a minute left on the clock.
And MSL is just at the ready with this AWP. Precariously close with that secondary shot. He's already found a frag onto Hooksy, who was pretty much stood out in the open on that ramp area. And with North getting even closer to this A site, I wonder when they decide to rotate Queenix. Instead, they're backtracking, bringing Refresh back over to B, maybe thinking that North will double back once again, and maybe that is the tactic. I'm not too sure. Gate's just watching the flank. There's only 20 seconds on the board, so they have to commit to this A site. And I'd love to see Existence just play a passive setup. This once again is going to be a fake from Gade. He on his lonesome, throwing these nades into the B site. And North, they're going in with just 10 seconds left, exactly what you said they weren't doing. And it seems to be working out. 4 seconds, bomb finally goes down and nobody to prevent it. And to add insult to injury, Gade's there for the flank. Refresh cannot do anything. This is 11-4 for North. No chance here for Refresh. Surely Lecro finishes him. What a stunning T-side for the favorites in this series.
It absolutely is. That's so fantastic. I really like the way that they played that final round with the fake that turned into a flank, and it just made it very, very difficult for Existence to do anything. North were hitting all their headshots, winning all the aim duels. It worked out absolutely perfectly for them. They sit 11-4 now. I think if they take this pistol round, it certainly puts the series to bed. Even if Existence can take this pistol round, they've still got a hell of an uphill climb to close this gap and keep this map competitive once again. That's what they're going to be looking to do, though. That's what they absolutely have to do. Otherwise, it's bye-bye from Malta Vibes Week 10. Oh, look at those.
There are the odds. Very, very one-sided. Almost as polarized as they can possibly get. Yes, Existence have a slim chance of bringing this back, but is it 1 in 10? I'm not really sure. If they play out 10 games from this scenario, do they even win one of them against North? I'm really not sure. We saw great CT sides from North earlier this week. They don't have to put together even nearly as sturdy a CT side as they did against any of their previous opposition. Here with 70 seconds left, this A site looks very isolated. Should be an easy take for Existence, all things considered, especially with the smoke in hand to counterweight any members of the defense, but there's absolutely nobody here. It's just Gade with one smoke grenade of his own.
Oh, he's going to get a flash as well. I actually quite like this from the tees. Wow. Hector's and Refresh finding all the frags, but AZ comes through with a 3K. Looking for the fourth as well. Oh, wow. This is a huge whiff. This has actually given AZ an opportunity back into this one. No way did he convert it. It's not going to happen. Hooksy comes through. That was incredibly messy at the end there. I can't believe AZ found himself a 3K and kept that in contention.
Yeah, wouldn't it be insane if 1v4 plays end both maps for Existence? That's got to be soul-crushing, but quite the statement from AZ right there, topping the table with 15 kills. I guess MSL just has a couple more frags than him. Not somebody that I always associate with heavy mad fragging, but that AWP for him has been beautiful. And once again, this is actually going to be the force buy for North. So no scout in hand for MSL, just trying to keep a little bit of bonus bank to get that AWP out sooner rather than later. But just with Deagles in hand, North, they want to try and close down this series right now. They want to cement that grand final spot. Existence just playing towards this lower ramp area. Creeping and crawling the way up. It's SMGs at the ready, and there's the repeat, but right into the waiting arms of Hooksy. It's quite a few kills going the T's way before Cajun B is able to sweep back a pair of shots.
Hector's with this bomb is actually going to drop, but Cajun B's only got 10 points of health left. I don't think there's a lot of chance of him holding on to it. If his teammate was still alive, this would be a 2v2 and very, very doable. But he has to kind of wrap around, hope that he can guess right and try and deny the plant, I suppose. There's still 40 seconds left on this clock, so Existence have got plenty of time. And they should just be able to take this round with ease. I mean, we see those odds at halftime. You talk about the fact that you don't expect them to bring back any... If they play out the scenario 10 times, you don't expect them to pull it back in any of them. I think we see quite a lot of 11-4 comebacks in Counter-Strike, definitely more than 1 in 10. But in this scenario, I've just seen nothing that's impressed me from Existence so far. And Cajun B, it's a fantastic grenade. It doesn't quite finish him off. It does so much damage. He almost connects one through the smoke as well, but not today, Cajun B. He is going to fall, and Existence put themselves onto 6.
North are just so scary. Even in those force buys with a couple of deagles in hand, we very classically see Cajun B just doing absolute work. Back on Nuke again here on Vertigo, putting up some really strong numbers here in this semi-final. Existence, they need to close this gap. Just a scoreline of 5-8. And realistically, this is going to be a fairly easy sweep away engagement for Existence. They will hold the angles. They don't want to walk into a stack, even of USPSs. North, their goal is just to really find 1 or 2 kills here, get a little bit of kill bonus, maybe drop one of the AKs. I think the primary objective is to get the AWP into MSL's hands over towards that A site. He'll be playing upon ramp, probably getting aggressive to take that challenge to Hector's. I'd love to see him get out an AWP in the next. And the way to go about that is get rid of refreshes. Mach 10. Maybe he'll drop in its entirety. And then Queenix can actually drop that sniper as well with refresh by himself. So pretty easy pair of engagements there for Existence. 2 kills for North, but not too much more for Cajun B. So a bit of damage dealt. It's only trivial getting into round number 19.
Well, before that round kicked off, the economy of Existence actually sucked. There was 3 players that had no money left in the bank, so to drop 2 weapons is actually pretty impactful. It means that they really don't have a whole lot to reinvest here. Refresh is actually down to a Galil. I'm not sure why he's down to a Galil. I think maybe that was dropped to him. I don't think he had enough money to buy the utility and the helmet and Kevlar that he has. Nonetheless, a full buy from them, but they face up against much of the same. Now the AWP on MSL for the first time this half, and they're looking very, very dangerous with it. Look at this, the 2 rifles getting super aggressive. The flash through the smoke, and AZ's going to find the first and the second. Such a good flash from MSL, gives them that 2-man advantage. And now Existence start to backtrack, they head over towards B, and they have a little bit more luck. Hooksy's going to be able to open things up and bring it back into a 3-on-3.
And Marcel's got this angle completely underguarded. With the bomb gone, he hits both opening shots. Just Queenix left to find it. It's a stunning flick to convert all 3 for the captain. 12-7 puts North's first CT round on the board. And this was the play to really isolate these B members. Yes, Hooksy does a great job opening on the B bomb site, but look at this conversion. Even the second shot, despite the low HP of Hooksy, is pretty stunning, but nothing compared to this one.
Really incredible stuff from MSO, just showing how consistent he is in those scenarios where if he falls there, Existence actually have a pretty good chance of closing out that round because it's a 3-on-2. Okay, their HP wasn't great, but that opens up the B site. The rotations were quite far away as well, so they certainly had time to get some post plants in. Instead, North just completely deny it. They put themselves onto 12 and they maintain this gap. This certainly gives them an opportunity to run away with this map. Existence really don't have a lot of money in the bank. This is going to be a full investment from them, and we're going to be seeing a couple of Galils. I'm not even sure what refresh goes for here. Whatever it is, it's certainly not going to be an AK. I don't even think he's got the money for the Galil. I think he's going to go down to a Mach 10, perhaps. That'll put North onto 13. That'll force Existence onto an Eco. An opportunity for North to get onto 14. That's when it starts to get out of hand.
North in need of 4 more CT-sided rounds to close this series out and solidify a grand final spot later today against either Sprite or Fours. 4 more needed. Existence is a fairly shaky buy going into round number 20. It's Galil's all round, 2 AK-47s on Refresh and Queenix. Hector's obviously doesn't go for the Scout, just for the Galil instead, and maybe this needs to be a bit of a change of pace for Existence. Perhaps they get aggressive and try and catch North off guard with, a little bit of speed. I'm not really sure what they can go for, considering, this setup does look very sturdy. We've got Easy just looking right above this smoke, and that's a freebie found.
That's a very nice read from Hooksy. I don't think he actually traced any bullets there. I think he literally just fired off through that smoke. Gives them that opening man advantage. It's something that they really need here. They've got the limited firepower. The Galils as well, and they need that too. The whiff from MSL comes through. That's going to give them an opportunity to find more. And MSL has to go big here. He needs to level out these numbers. It's now a 4 versus 2, and Letcro, he is really trapped. He needs to find this frag, and it's not going to happen. Hector's takes him out. It leaves it all down to MSL. It's a 1 versus 4. 2 of these Ts are very, very low, so it's certainly doable. But I don't think he's going to go for this. I think this is certainly the save call. Their bank isn't built up whatsoever. Losing this AWP would be quite detrimental for their next investment.
He is actually gunning in for exits, deciding that attack is the best defense towards the CT spawn, waiting for Hooksy to peek into this angle, and well, spots the shadow out from the first, but then gets caught off guard. The buy would have been incredibly polarized either way. Unfortunately, that gives Hector's the AWP, which is actually a bit of a difference maker. I think I'd have preferred that AWP thrown out of the map instead of giving it to Hector's. He's been quite quiet, but notably because of his lack of the AWP. On Existence's CT side, they never really got their money rolling. He had maybe found the AWP 3 times at most. Here on the T side, this is his first opportunity with his sniper rifle, and North back to pistols once again. If Hector starts firing on all cylinders, then there definitely is a pathway back into this map for Existence. But they've got to get there first. They've got to win easier rounds like these, and then of course convert the rifle rounds as well. They seem to be doing a good job just watching up towards ramp, peering over these smokes, waiting for mistakes from MSL and co, which classically have been coming through. But we'll likely see 12-9 rifles out for North in the next. Either team wanting to get this one just over and done with, wanting to maximize that bank instead.
Wow, with North struggling a little bit on this CT side and actually having several rounds just due to the economy on the CT side being a little bit harder to manage. Actually several rounds where they've just been down to the pistols. It's certainly given Existence an opportunity back in. And if they can convert this round, they can put 9 on the board. But that is an incredible opening headshot from Letcro there. Does bring things into a 4-on-4. Look at this boost. This could be quite dangerous if they can connect the shots here.
Oh, they do actually spot out Hector's. They know that upon this bomb site, Nodios is trying to scramble back, but cannot take the peek in time. Gabe does have all of the information. He's creeping closer, but only the deagle in hand. I don't know who is going to take the engagement first and Refresh. It's a peek on through. The Molotov secures the lack of a bomb defuse. And 12-9 being the scoreline. Existence behind by 3. Of course, this is going to be a buy for both squads. We'll see the AWP back in hand for MSL. No double AWP setup, so shenanigans for North. Instead, just keeping this one sniper alive. I think the only team that I've seen recently try the double AWP setup has been MIBR on the A site, playing Fallen and KNG either side there. Almost a desperation play at times, I think, to play 2 AWPs towards this side of the map. When you're playing against Hectors, maybe you feel like you need 2 for the price of 1.
Ooh.
Great nade stack.
It doesn't find a kill, of course, but does tons of damage. I think a double AWP setup is viable on Vertigo as a whole if you put one over towards B, one over towards the A site. But to actually have two on A ramp, you're playing a very, very dangerous game. And Let Crow, the man over towards B, he's taken out the lurker. Gives them the man advantage to work with as well. And with tons of damage dealt to these ramp players, North are in a good position. They know exactly what's up. They have a fantastic read on the situation. They can draw a rotation over towards A. AZ's even got a flash in hand to help out his teammate in middle. They know what's up here. Ooh, 1 HP.
Wow, that's a lovely nade stack as well. As you said, just a single point of health. There's the trade. Quite a few players low on health on this server right now. And a must-win round for Existence as they pressure into this A bomb site. MSL's finally on the rotating wrap, looking for a boost up above these smokes. He's got a great angle to watch Hector's, and they've got no idea Hooksy. He connects the one shot required, and Refresh follows it up with a second. North, still an opportunity to prevent this bomb from going down. There's 15 seconds on the board. And Gade, how's he going to do this? There's the nade in hand. Can he prevent it? Is it in time? No. He does blast Hooksy out of the server, but just a second too late. And Refresh and Hector's, they've got 64 HP between the two of them. But nevertheless, they're hitting all of the shots. Hector's there with the second. Existence finally double digits.
That was really North's main opportunity to get back into that one. There was 15 seconds left on that clock, and all of the Existence players were low HP. So whoever went to go and plant that bomb, there was potential for a spam or a grenade to come through to deny it. And if that happened, that would be round over, because then there's probably not time for anyone to actually run and retrieve the bomb and plant it. But even in doing so, they have to cross no man's land, where there's no smoke to cover them. Instead, the grenade just chips in that damage. A second too late, the bomb's already gone down. And it allows Existence that opportunity to keep those two T players in their post-plant positions and hold on to that bomb. Now North just down to a Deagle buy, a little bit of Kevlar here and there, tiny bit of utility to work with. I really don't see a whole lot happening for them, and that's of course going to allow Existence onto 11. So after an 11-4 half in the favor of North, who would have expected this scoreline right now?
Yeah, definitely not me. North are very unsuccessful on the CT side. Classically, it's been MSL with that AWP to force them back into the game, and he's top fragging, but not having the impact required to win this one. Lots of 2 versus 3s and 1v1s, all going Existence's way. And once again with pistols, they're looking for damage and only damage here in the 23rd. Existence ripping their way onto this B bomb site. It's all going to go down, and AZ probably not much he can do either, even with all that information. 11-12, Existence, they've closed this gap in the scoreline up from 7 to just 1 round.
Well, you talk about MSL, he's having a big impact in this game. Yeah, he's putting up some numbers, he's finding frags, but what you expect from an AWPer like him, especially on this CT side, is for him to actually find those opening kills, and it seems to be happening the other way. Existence, time after time, are taking that early man advantage, and North are on the back foot, and it's MSL finding a couple of kills here and there to try and pick up the pieces, and it's not winning them the rounds. Right now, once again, they throw a smoke, they throw some nades into ramp, making very, very minimal damage. This is what we keep seeing. They spam through it. Oh my goodness, Refresh. They've just walked past each other. Surely they don't expect him here. How has he actually found that kill? That is absolutely incredible. As he continues to press forward, he's found himself a second, and MSL has to run away. Somehow, despite the fact that they had the advantage in that scenario, they've taken a 3-man detriment.
That is such chaos there on the ramp. I don't know how Refresh even finds the first kill, let alone the last 2. And now North have to pull it back once again. They're actually doing the damage. It's Cajun B being the saving grace of this A site. But as the flank wraps through, Queenix has all of the information, and this all comes down to timing once again. The Molotov in hand, Cajun B forced forward, and there's Queenix to just finish him. And they know exactly where Lecro's playing from. Through this smoke should be an easy conversion for Queenix. And there's the finisher. 12-12, back to evens once again here on Vertigo. As Existence are pulling together quite the monumental comeback on North's pick. It's the CT side falling apart at the seams. North, they don't seem to have the rotations inbound. They just don't seem to have the manpower on these particular bomb sites when Existence are throwing these pushes through. And even when North do have that coordination, Refresh just moving through the forces, finding 3 quick kills. I've no idea how he's so effective there. And considering this is just Pistols M&J, North are likely going to slip down into a losing scoreline. Existence maybe 1 round ahead after this.
Well, that is absolutely crazy for them to not only bring it back, but for them to take the lead. They find that first kill onto MSL. He got dangerously aggressive. Cajun B is actually going to realize he's got the bomb down here. It's an opportunity for him to try and find himself a freebie, but Hooks is actually very, very aware that he could have got aggressive, and he's going to be able to find that kill. These Deagles not really doing a whole lot. Just as I say that, AZ actually punches in some damage. If he can find a third here, this may stay in contention, and he actually does so. AZ somehow brings this back into a competitive round as he taps away. He's looking for this third and final kill. Oh my goodness, what is going on, Squid? What is going on? I can't even commentate this. This is mental.
This is maybe North's second opportunity this whole half, but Hooksy still with 100 HP, only notably with a Mac 10 in hand. But considering both of these CTs are fairly low on health, maybe there's an opportunity for him to do so. He's got the 1 Molotov in hand, but Gade with the smoke to potentially extinguish it. And North are playing this one incredibly slowly, and considering they don't have a defuse kit here, the bait and switch setup's not going to work out, considering Hooksy is playing incredibly back and passive. There goes the Molotov for sandbags. But North have pretty much timed themselves out. Yes, they can throw this smoke down and try and get him for the defuse, but as soon as this kill comes through, Hooksy, he's found both. That's 13, the saving grace for Existence. And they're now in the lead here on Vertigo.
That could have been a very easy round for North had they sped it up a bit. They left it far too late, and they had to stick that bomb. That is very, very problematic for them. I can't believe that round even came down to what it came down to. Existence had a 3-man advantage, and this really shows where they can just choke in some of these scenarios, and they certainly seem to have some issues closing. Hopefully for their sake we don't see it again, where they had a 3-man advantage. They're against just Pistols. They have a 3-man advantage. AZ's in just a pretty standard position. It's not like he's in some like really good position where he's peeking out and doing some damage and then going back again and it's hard to trade. He's really just right out in the open, just spamming body shots with a deagle. It's nothing crazy impressive. It's just huge whiffs coming through from Existence where they're just unable to trade it. He's able to find himself 3 kills and all of a sudden it's a close round. It shouldn't be happening. Existence should either just be able to trade that instantly or just backtrack and maintain that man advantage instead of continuing to try and take the fight.
There's another opening for Existence. It feels like every single round at this point, they're picking apart at least one player from North. And Refresh, look at the confidence just peering through these smokes. The utility usage for North is having no effect. He should be waiting for these to dissipate, but he's already up towards ramp, right outside of this A site where only Gade is holding. He's going to get a really nasty surprise very shortly, considering North, they expect this to be a B push, and it's nothing but. They are right outside of B before Gade gets any information. The rotate is miles away, and North, they might as well save this time. I guess if Gade can find just 1 kill, there's a chance. But with the scoreline being so polarized, how is North going to get the job done in this retake?
Have a man disadvantage. Time is of the essence, and they have to find these frags. That Molotov is going to be good. It's a well, it confirms that Hector's in that position, but that doesn't really matter at this point. They need to find the kill, and the bomb's too far gone. They're going to fall right back. This is going to be the 14th on the board for Existence. The only saving grace is that North will have another buy up in the next to contest that match point. But wow. Existence, they're certainly pulling off a masterclass in these later rounds. You touched upon it earlier on with the utility usage. Existence are starting to call North's bluff. Early on in the half, we saw North consistently going for some aggression over towards ramp. They were trying to hold on to that control, and they were just unsuccessful. We saw some incredible plays from Refresh in particular, where he'd kind of push through and he'd find himself a 2K, and it would open things up. Since then, North have had more of a passive approach, especially over towards that A bomb site, where they've just thrown a deep smoke and played right back on the site. But the thing is the first couple of rounds they did that, Existence waited behind the smoke, the clock ran down because they were wary of someone being on the other side. But now they've realized that North just don't contest it at all. So as soon as that smoke goes down, they can just flash through it, push through, and they don't expect anyone to be there. And it means that they take that ramp control instantly, and as soon as they've got it, it applies tons of pressure onto North. They're pushed right up against the back of the site, and they have to fight their way out. And, well, just none of these players have really been winning any of their Angels in this second half, and it's really shown. A single round on the board for North in this second half, remember. They had an 11-4 half.
And let's put that in comparison. Existence, they've just taken 70 rounds in a row. The initial pistol trio as well. And they might get first dibs at 15 here on Vertigo. That looks like a foregone conclusion as MSL almost drops. Necro and Hooksy pretty much trade HP evenly. And with 90 seconds left, already tragedy for North across the B bomb site as their defense is now thinned out. This A defense has looked lackluster at best. I'm surprised North haven't elected to put MSL towards this side of the map, looking down ramp. Maybe he just doesn't want to challenge Hector's. And there's an opportunity for the trade. You see that Gabe doesn't even want to take the fight. Instead, throws down the incendiary. There's the nade as well to follow, but doing 0 damage and only delaying Existence till the minute mark. They've got so much time to use.
That's what's so dangerous about them taking this ramp control early on. If North can test the ramp control and actually keep Existence pushed back until later on in the round, and then Existence are walking up ramp with maybe 20, 30 seconds to spare, then that utility usage is massively impactful because it adds tons of time pressure onto their opponents. But allowing them to take the ramp control so early on, then throwing the utility at like the minute 10 mark, isn't really doing a whole lot because Existence have got plenty of time to just fall back and say, okay, we'll just try over towards B. And that's exactly what they're doing. Lecro right now absolutely has to hit these shots, and he's whiffed the first. He does connect the second just before falling to the nade stack, but it does bring things into a 3-on-3. Makes it absolutely doable on the retake for his teammates, especially with that Molotov going down, and Queen's actually holding it. Oh, it doesn't quite reach him.
No, it's a little too long thrown, and now Hector's has to hold up the line. Queenix isolated on the B site, throws down a smoke to gain some coverage, but now wants to swing out. AZ eliminated. North really need to hurry up. They've got defuse kits, but not a hell of a lot of time. Queenix does drop the flank. There's nobody there, and instead Hector's takes one. He's done, wants to backtrack towards the stairs, and there's the secondary shot. 15 for Existence. Everything's going right for their T side as they've pretty much put up a flawless scorecard here on Inferno.
Absolutely incredible for him to find that first shot and then fall back before the swing comes through for the trade. Really nice stuff. And Gade, well, he just has to go for the hold, I suppose. Very little time left on that bomb. Now their opponents are on match point. We need North to pull back 3 in a row. They did so on Nuke. This was actually the same scenario. Of course, North didn't have an 11-4 first half on Nuke. It was an 8-7, but nonetheless, it was 15-13 to Existence. North pulled back 2 rounds to take it to OT. Now they have to do the same here. They've got the buy. Obviously, AZ down to that MP9, but it's still a relatively healthy buy nonetheless. They need 3 in a row. The issue is they face up against an Existence side that are looking very, very strong. They've got a lot of momentum and a fair amount of cash in the bank as well.
I really don't know if North could pull back that victory on Nuke. Maybe they can do the same here on Vertigo. But I'm really not sure. This looks like a different Existence side. They look ready and raring to go for this victory. And there's the early trade. AZ already gone. They do take Refresh as a sacrifice towards the bottom of ramp. But at the 90-second mark, already blood's been drawn. And Existence with lots of opportunities. Looks like they are going to head back towards this B site where a double defense is posted. This has been, well, the common hold for North, but they've had absolutely no success. Literally taking just one round on this CT side, and it might all be over if just a couple of opening kills come through. That smoke isolates Cajun B all the way out in the open, and they need to check this angle. There's the spray on in, but Lecro able to save his teammate, and Cajun B bails out from B with just 79 HP left to his name. MSL, that's a weirdly missed shot. Gives them a chance back into this bomb site, especially with Lecro incredibly low. That's a missed shot again. Very scrappy stuff in round number 28 as Hectus almost has no chance in the 1 versus 3.
Yeah, with 6 points of health, he really needs to fall back here. I'm not sure if North allow him to save. He's actually going to throw the AWP out the map. That's quite smart. There's no AWP available here for North. He doesn't want to allow them to retrieve it because they won't have the money to buy one in the next either. So smart stuff. Hector's is just going to go out and maybe try and find a kill. He's got 9k behind him, so he's not going to worry about the money, and he is able to actually do so. Oh, there is an AWP. There is an AWP. MSL's AWP's been retrieved. So they do have an AWP going into this next round. And North have done what was needed. They've somewhat broken the economy of their opponents as well. It's Hector's with the cash in the bank to drop his teammates. But yeah, this was nice. This was a nice round from North. It was a little bit audacious early on from AZ, where he just got super aggressive in ramp with that MP9, just charging right through the smoke. But I do like the fact that they're finally contesting that ramp control. It's something I've talked about throughout the entirety of this game, that they're allowing Existence too much control. And actually, by pushing straight through, it just asserts some pressure onto them. That's really what that's done. It trades evenly, and it means that all of a sudden Existence go, oh, we can't just go and take ramp like we normally do. We have to be careful. We have to fall back. And if we do want to take it, then we have to clear it with utility and things. Right now, the pause comes through. Existence, 2 chances to close this one out in regulation.
This is a technical pause that comes right off the back of the tactical from Existence. They wanted a break anyway. They'll get a longer one to discuss, to stew into what might be their final buy of this half. Despite winning so many in a row, their economy is in no good state. It's actually pretty dire. Hector's has to drop $10,000 worth of weaponry to just ensure that everybody gets a full buy. And I can hear that chat in-game actually going mental. So we will be playing some Counter-Strike for perhaps one final time. Existence, this is a must-win round. Otherwise, we might be going back to OT. And North, this staying power has been phenomenal. And maybe we might be just questioning Existence's mindset at that point. If they fail to close out 2 maps in a row, I really don't know what I think about that. 15-13, North, they need 2 in a row to take us to OT. And MSL finally back towards the A site with the AWP. That's a stunning shot.
You've got to be scared if you're Existence right now. They've got no money left in the bank. Hector's, as you say, dropped $10,000 worth of weaponry in this round. And it means that if they can't convert this, they're actually going to have a very shaky buy in round number 30. They'll have some SMGs, maybe a couple of Galils. There certainly won't be an AWP. I really don't think there'll be more than maybe 2 AKs available. Will not be good at all. With this man advantage, North looking to try and close this one out. MSL does miss a shot. There was 4 targets to choose from, and he didn't connect with any of them. It's going to allow Existence onto this bomb site. The bomb is going to go down. An A-stack comes through. It's actually going to take him out. It's actually Gade to get him through the smoke as well. A 2-man advantage as the retake starts to come through.
That is a lovely angle with the smoke to isolate these CTs. I think North might dive onto this bomb site sooner rather than later, but with the bomb planted in the absolute open, I think the North do have to actually take these gunfights before the bomb can ever be defused. That might even be the last smoke gone. AZ does throw one onto the bomb, but only trading fairly evenly. These Refresher 1 versus 3, all of them are very low on HP, and the pistol out, he might be able to convert one bullet away, and that's map 3 secured for X6TENCE. What a play right there. Remember, back on Nuke, Lekro found a 1 versus 4 of his own pretty much to close out the map. It's in fact X6TENCE doing it this time. What a performance. I thought they had no chance here on Vertigo. Let's just watch that again. Look at this conversion. 1 versus 3 takes away Gage with a lightning fast headshot, scrambling to hit those shots. And that is some pretty sickening Counter-Strike. I almost cannot believe it. I really did think that Overpass was not on the cards whatsoever, but supposedly it is. And we're going to a third and final map in this series. Can you even analyze that, M&J?
Well, I can certainly analyze that final round, and I know that in situations like that, there can be miscommunication, it can be quite hectic, but that shouldn't have played out like that. Lekro was the only man in that retake scenario that didn't have a kit. And he went for a full 10-second defuse whilst his teammates were covering him. He had about 2 to 3 seconds left on it. If anyone else had jumped on that bomb, that would have been it. It would have just been defused, and we go to the 30th round, and they have a very good opportunity to take it to OT. But instead, for some reason, Lekro's the man to jump on it. And yeah, I mean, you're never going to have a 10-second defuse come through in a scenario like that. Nonetheless, X6TENCE played fantastically on their T side, and I think they absolutely deserve to be going into this third and final map. And I'm interested to see if they can take it.
Well, we're heading to a third and final. It's Overpass before our second semi of the day. Forza and Sprite, they'll have to wait because we're going to Overpass right after this break. Hello and welcome back, everybody. A stunner of a series here in the semi-finals. A bit of a shocker considering Existence. They were not expected to take that second map. We actually saw those loot bet odds, not to get into the betting too quickly, but they were pretty much down in the dumps. 11-4 deficit at the start of that half. It was actually looking like North were just going to take it right over the top. Very quick 2-0. And we were going to get onto the second semi-final. But somehow we're here on Overpass. We've got a third and final map to decipher these two teams. And realistically, M&J, I've got no idea what's going to happen.
Nor do I. It's all part of the excitement, I think. It's a bizarre one. We certainly weren't expecting Existence to take that second map from the start, but after an 11-4 half, everyone counted them out. I think, what were the odds? It was like 10-1 or something at half time. Anyone in the chat that had a bet on them at half time, they are rolling in it right now. Like, that's just incredible for them to bring it back, and not only bring it back, but actually to take it just so convincingly, only allowing North 2 rounds on their CT side on their map pick is just absolutely crazy. And as we go on to Overpass, they're not going to be confident by any means, but they're going to be fired up off the back of that win. And actually, they're going onto a map that they're pretty comfortable with as well. As I talked about before, they've had some wins on Overpass recently against Ents, Pact, Mad Lions, Heretics, Gambit Youngsters. If they can take down teams like this, then there's absolutely no reason why they couldn't take down North on it.
Absolutely. And that is what's so scary about this third and final map. As you just said, the tier of results that they've been taking have been pretty stunning here. And Existence, I called them the dark horse of this tournament for a very good reason. When you look at all of the quality of teams that we've actually got in this cup, MIBR, Sprout, Mad Lions, Forza, North, Gambit Youngsters, Existence don't even come in the top 50% of this list. And maybe, just maybe, they'll get to a grand final here against one of our favorites. That's a really stunning upset. And then considering we go on to another semi-final between Sprite and Forza after, if Existence put together this sort of performance in the grand final, they could win this whole bloody tournament. And they've been really damn good throughout the last couple of series. We've seen just yesterday, in fact, in those quarterfinals, a massive result against Gambit Youngsters. One of those maps being Overpass, which, as you said, they won, but it was a 16-7. For God's sake, really dominant stuff on that CT side, and then just closing it out with the 7-1 T side to finish off that map in very, very convincing fashion. Gambit Youngsters looked completely down on their luck, but if we talk about North right now, they also played Overpass yesterday. Very convincing result, 16-5 in their respective series. So both of these teams, good results on this final map. This should be a banger.
It absolutely should be. I'm very, very excited to get into it. And I mean, this would be a really good result from Existence. If they can take this third and final map, that's a guaranteed second place. This is essentially a $10,000 map here. Yeah, whoever wins it puts themselves into the grand finals, and they're either going to be taking home $10,000 or $25,000. So it's certainly all to play for here on Overpass. And as we said before, both sides are very confident with it. We saw North take it yesterday. Okay, it was against Galaxy Racer, but it was very, very convincing. They looked very comfortable. I'm actually quite surprised. Now, it's not massively surprising because they are pretty confident on it as well. It is one of their stronger maps. But I'm a little bit surprised that they actually allowed Overpass to float as a third map, purely down to the basis that actually Existence have had such incredible results on it recently. But without further ado, we are going to jump straight into this knife round, and we're in this fun little triangle again. The man's, he's hanging from the branches. He's got his camera looking down on the fountain. I love it.
Little observe the monkey business and Existence. They actually do win another knife here, so they can select their CT side if they want it first. They had a really good CT side just yesterday. Let's see if they can have a repeat performance here against North. Sometimes, I've got to say this, Existence sometimes have a bit of an inability to close out maps and finish off series. We did see that earlier on Nuke. It was a 1 versus 4 for Lecro at map point. This would have been a 2-0 by now if Existence had actually taken that over the top. And look how close those odds are. Maybe that confidence starting to waver for our North supporters out there in the wild world of Twitch. You can go to loot.bet if you want to take advantage of those odds. Let's get right into this pistol, though. North, they start on this T side. It's MSL on utility duty with 2 flashes, that single smoke, and a pretty null and void B defense. Existence have actually been throwing this tactic through. 3 into connector, actually quite commonly, and there's nobody to defend it for North. Cajun B has to hit all of the shots, actually 2 quick kills. Queenix also drops, and now this puts Existence into a really sticky situation where the bomb hasn't gone down on this B bomb site, but Hooksy, he has to bail out, unable to do so. AZ with the headshots, and now this bomb can go down in the safety of A bomb site.
That's a fun strat. I've never seen that one before, where you actually push onto B, you take the B site, and then you push all the way through and go up to A and plant the bomb. That's quite fun. I like this. Now 4 versus 2 now, though. The retake coming through for Existence. The post plants are in place for the T side. I don't see a whole lot of opportunity to break this defense and actually get a defuse in as well, especially without this kit. But they seem to be finding the kills. It's Letgro to deny Nodios of anything else, and Hector's, he's got no time. He needs to find himself 2 kills, and it's not going to happen. Tapping away. North are just playing with him. They're baiting him away. They should be able to finish him off here, and it's actually AZ to do so. 1 round on the board now for North to kick things off here on Overpass. And you know a really daunting thing that I've just thought about? I just remembered back to Nuke, which actually feels like it was like weeks ago at this point. So much has happened since Nuke, Squid. But the fact that actually Existence could have very, very easily 2-0'd this series. So not only taking the series, but that pivotal round in Nuke, where Letcro found that 1 versus 4 and took it to overtime, had Existence closed out that map and had the performance that they had on Vertigo, this would have been 2-0 to Existence in the semi-finals against North. That is something that I just can't quite comprehend in my brain.
Yeah, that's definitely a surprising stat line here for the semifinals. And realistically, I am actually surprised and quite frankly impressed that those big losses North handed Existence early in this series didn't shake away their confidence. They seem to have came in as a much better team on that second half of Vertigo, saying, right, we've got nothing to lose. Let's go all out to try and forge this comeback. And they were able to do it. So props to them for that. But you don't get credit for it unless you finish off a series like this. They've got to challenge this single scout on the A bomb site. And Nodios is holding up the angle on his lonesome, just peeking and peering for this initial information. North creeping incredibly close, and now comes the flashes and the smokes. Nodios forced into quite a damaging position where he has to create a crossfire with these Deagles. Only 1 shot found, and that shouldn't be good enough as the AK-47's tearing for all of the kills. North up to 2.
It looked dangerous when they had those first couple of kills. They dealt tons of damage onto AZ as well. But they weren't allowed any more than that. The AK's picked up the pieces. And North quite comfortably keep 3 players alive, convert that second round, which can be so, so important. If you win the pistol and you lose the second round, it really puts your economy in pieces. Your opponents are then able to take the lead and actually take an extra round on top of it as well, as you tend to force up off the back of it. It puts you in a really horrible cycle at the start of a game. Now we see the full eco from Existence. This should just be a complete freebie for North. And an opportunity for them to rack up some cash as well. Of course, they kept 3 players alive in the last, so they've got some money on a few of these players already. And if they can mow down this aggression, then there we go. 4 kills, no casualties. Nodios will fall in due time. And when he does so, there we go. The cash flurries through. Look at the money on that North side right now.
Yeah, let's be honest about this series as well. It has been incredibly close. This is the first series that's really challenged North thus far in this tournament. Taking Group D very decisively, a very easy win on Vertigo in the best of 1, which is obviously our initial group stage match, and then a 2-0, obviously a very one-sided 2-0 there in the playoffs as well in those quarterfinals. Now they've lost their first map of the tournament. I don't know if this will shake their confidence. In the first 3, it doesn't seem to have had any effect. Over towards the B bomb site. Nades do clatter MSL down to 65 points of health. Shaking him up ever so slightly, puts him within 1 tap range of these M4A4s. But Existence aren't playing this one too aggressively. There is the flash and peak combination, and Hooksy does find one and bail out. North should always be trading that frag.
That is a real shame. Gives them that man advantage. They've already dealt tons of damage as well. North have to start to fall back and head over towards A, but Hector's is patiently waiting with this AWP. He's jump spotting as well. As soon as he sees something, he is going to call that rotation and probably fire off a shot and hit it. North with this early 3-round advantage. They can afford to lose this one. They've got the money in the bank as well to reinvest, but they want to continue to assert this dominance and apply the pressure. And as they push into this A site, there's a huge gap in this smoke. That's going to allow Refresh to deny the plant, but only if they can connect these shots. And for now, they're not doing so.
Oh, Refresh is burning alive. He actually takes almost 100 damage to that Molotov before going down, leaving just Hector's to lead the charge with a quick double. Needs a little bit more, but he does have reinforcements in the ready in the 2 versus 3. Bomb going down. Flash does nothing, and Hector's, oh, it's another peek. He whiffs the shot. Bullets out, and Gabe needs to get down the reload. Lecro as well, all out of ammo. Finally gets it through, but they know exactly where Hector's is playing from. They've isolated him into this crossfire position, and as he moves into this A bomb site, there's almost no chance for him right now. Pistol through, and Gate hits the headshot. There's the AWP retrieved, and North up to 4.
Wow, that was quite messy in that scenario. Refresh missing a lot of shots, standing in that Molotov for far too long as well. And Hector's, he was holding an incredibly tight angle, and he whiffed a fair few shots that round. And I think that was a bit of a limiting factor. Of course, he did come through with a double eventually, so you certainly can't pin it on him. But he did have the opportunity to find more than that, potentially even delay the plant further. And had he have done so, I think that round definitely would have gone the other way. Instead, just whiffing a few of those key shots. Allows North onto 4, breaks the economy once again of Existence. North should be able to put themselves onto 5, which is pretty dangerous early on. T-side on overpass to go 5-0 up instantly. It allows them to build up a bank. It allows them to build up a cushion of rounds as well to fall back on. That's not what you want if you're Existence right now.
No, absolutely not. And when you actually look back into this series, onto Nuke, onto Overpass, and obviously Vertigo as well, all 3 of these maps are shaping up to be very T-sided affairs. Both teams taking 7 on their T-side of Nuke. That's a bit unconventional. Obviously, both teams taking at least 11 on their T-side of Vertigo. That's, again, a little more than you'd expect. Quite a bit more than you'd expect, actually. So maybe Overpass might shape up to be the same. And I think even if North take quite a one-sided lead early on here on Overpass, the series is far from over. But Existence wants to get on the board sooner rather than later, especially in crunch time in this semi-final. We do find a couple of kills here, and there's the 5-7 for even more damage. The AWP whiffs, leaving Gabe looking and searching for these frags, but Refresh is doing tons of damage right now. That's a crucial shot as the flank is coming through. Gabe now needs to find 2, and he's got 20 seconds left. He's going to bail to the A bomb site. I don't know if Existence have any idea what he's going for right now. Nodios is on the fast wrap and rotate. He's going to be closer to this site than his teammate Hector's as they isolate both of these peaks. Gate's still with 100 points of health. This, he needs to sneak on through. And I like that Existence start to play this as a pair of players, trying to use their safety in numbers. But we know that Gade is good enough. He's got this bank angle, trying to cash in on this 5th round. They have no idea where he's playing from. With only 1 flashbang in the arsenal, there's no way that he can flash this one away. And Hector's, I think he actually gets off the defuse right there. He does. Steps out into the open. That's a big mistake. I don't know if he even had a defuse kit right there, but it's North on 5 nonetheless.
Wow, his head not quite showing. Gabe thought that the first kill he had was on the guy that tapped the bomb. That certainly got dangerous, but North convert it nonetheless. Of course, that was just a deagle round from Existence. They've actually done incredible damage there, but they did have an opportunity to close it out, and they couldn't quite do so. Gade played that scenario absolutely fantastically. If he does commit the plant there on B, okay, he was around the corner, so he wouldn't have got pushed, but he wouldn't have had the time to establish a post-plant position and put himself in an advantageous spot to convert the round. Instead, goes round to A, gives himself plenty of time and leg room to work with. Very, very nice stuff. An MSL. Oh, peeks with the flash. Can't quite connect, but KGMB does so on the other side of the map. That's going to give North that man advantage once again.
When do they stop or slow down? Existence gunning for a couple of quick openings, but they're just not finding anything right here. And Gabe's got this angle completely under wraps, actually gets a nade out at the wrong time. Sometimes it all comes down to timing, and as Nodios, he's spraying away everybody. There's Refresh to show up to the party, leaving AZ another 1 versus 3 to get done, and there's quite a snappy headshot. Wants to isolate these CTs, but it's Hector's to finish. I like that Hector's does that whole BM move of hitting the shot and then just taking his hand right off his mouse. Leaves his PC, stands up, of course. Maybe he is celebrating. Maybe he's got the, what's it, the Vuvuzela out? That big instrument they take to LAN.
Well, it's something that I think actually plays a little bit of a factor when everyone's playing from their own.
That's my Vuvuzela impression.
Is that what noise it makes?
Yeah.
Or have you just butchered it? Okay, all right, fair enough.
That's what noise it makes. We should Google Vuvuzela. I bet production could put a little Vuvuzela noise up. Just for you.
Just for me.
Pretty
all
sure
right.
they're not going to do it.
I don't think they're going to either.
Production do say no to that one. That's a bit of an ambitious call, I think.
Yeah, perhaps just a little. What's even more ambitious is going for this 2 versus 4. KGB does land a nice headshot, but certainly doesn't anticipate the second to be there. And the T falls, it leaves MSL in a very, very tricky 1-on-3, and he's not going to be able to get himself anything done. Actually, the second orb being retrieved as well. I didn't think he was going to go for that, but yeah, the very last second upgrades to it. Absolutely viable on a map like Overpass. A lot of long-range angles.
Well, here's Hellcase. You can go and use those coupon codes, MultiV15. Emanche, I'm stealing your job. You're usually the plug man.
I'm normally the plug man, but I'm happy for you to take it off me. I need a new spicy way of doing the Hellcase call out. I'll think about it after this map. Next time it'll be funkier. Ooh, I like the cheeky boost. Doesn't quite get it done. Instead, they actually burn alive. That's a little bit unfortunate. This is a very good opportunity for Existence to close this gap and actually break the bank of North. Of course, they have dropped down to these pistols. They will have a full investment in the next, but Existence were looking a little bit down and out after round number 5 when North were 5-0 up. There plenty of money behind them. It does start to lead the question of how do Existence come back into this one, and this is exactly how. You put a couple of rounds together, you force your opponents onto an eco, you then capitalize on that, and all of a sudden the lion's share of the gap's been closed, especially when Nodios coming from the back lines. They're not allowing anything. Nice gate goes big here.
Probably not doable, even with the AWP in hand. Perhaps if you can eliminate the long pincer of Nodios, then there is a chance, but, well, that ends everything. Existence, an easy 3rd round. They don't even need to challenge Gatorp. And are they going to go back for the double AWP setup? It's very viable, as we mentioned before. And Queenix, yes, he does want it. So that one can be dropped over to Hector's. This is the first time we've actually seen the double AWP in the server for either squad since the start of this series. On Nuke Vertigo, we didn't see double snipers at all. I've actually liked it on the north side, perhaps. I don't know who you would put in charge of that second AWP, but maybe when the going got tough earlier on Vertigo, maybe you resort back to that. We've seen it have a bit of success before, but it is a bit of a gimmicky play there on Vertigo, considering you do see a lot of afterplant situations, those retakes quite prevalent. Sometimes you don't want double snipers.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be a blessing and a curse. And North, they seem to be more often than not. Now, in this scenario, okay, they didn't have the cash for one, but a lot of the time they seem to be very, very comfortable with just these rifles. Queenix had an opportunity there to line up more than just the one, but he was unable to do so. He's going to be punished for it. AZ's hungry for more. He's spotted out Hooksy, and he's going to be able to put a bullet in him. Now 4 versus 2. It's the 2 AWPs to try and get the retake done, and this is what I mean. This is the curse side of it. You can't go for a retake in this scenario. Hector's is in no man's land as well. He has actually got smoke, and he could maybe deploy it and try and cross, but he knows it will get spammed. So he has to try and find himself some damage, and, well, Refresh has done that, but been traded instantly, and Hector's, they know where he is. He's really got no chance here. They've somehow allowed him to cross. This is an opportunity for him to go and save, and, well, he'll take that opportunity gladly, bring that AWP into the next round.
Yeah, he's definitely lucky, stuck there to get away with this AWP. Apparently wants to go for second pickings. North might even go for the hunt to try and retrieve this AWP. Not just considering they don't have one of their own. MSL finally does retrieve that secondary AWP. But also considering Hector's, he does have enough money to buy into the next, I guess, but the money is fairly low for Existence. Yes, they've won 3 in a row right there on the CT side, but they weren't clean rounds. Coming down to the afterplants, the retakes, 1v1 scenarios, costly buys to proceed. North a good lead, 6-3. See MSL back on the AWP. Of course, that was retrieved before. And now, a tactical timeout.
A tactical timeout from Existence. You know, something that I think about, right? And it's something that, like, you think at just this level of play, just the teams, like, they just have respect for each other. But in an online environment, how do you police technical and tactical timeouts? Because so much of the time, a technical timeout, you just don't. Exactly. No. But if you're a team and you've run out of tactical timeouts, you just call a tech and say, keyboard broken, and who's gonna tell you you're lying?
I'm not being funny, but policing coaches in online CS is quite tough.
Yeah.
You know what I think about? When we have a bath, we call it having a bath, but when we wash our hands, we don't call it having a sink.
Why? Why have you just put that thought in my head? I'm gonna think about that now every time I wash my hands. Oh, I like this. No way. He actually gets away with it as well. That's mental.
That is so sad. I love that Hector's even goes for the jump boost and still takes damage from the Molotov as if he was running right through it. Nevertheless, it's a kill. A kill is a kill, M&J.
That was cool. That was really cool. I like that. That was nice. Anticipated. They say, do you know what? They actually Molotov short every round, so we can't get aggressive. So let's go for a run boost around it. Improvisation, I like it. It's like that Bear Grylls meme where it's like adapt, overcome, and improvise, or whatever it says.
Yeah, but Bear Grylls admitted on Piers Morgan's life stories that he used to just sleep in a hotel. They'd go to like the Sahara Desert, and then he would fly out, sleep in a 5-star hotel, and then just pretend.
I would as well if I was Bear Grylls.
Dora the Explorer is actually a better explorer.
Maybe we should be taking tips from her instead then. I mean, this is just being shot away. AZ does actually find himself that kill onto Hector's, so that does give them a lifeline to work with and allows them to fall back. Had he not found that kill, Hector's would have just swung and found that kill himself. Now they start to thin out these numbers and bring it into a very, very doable 2-on-2. The issue is the time pressure.
And MSL has been completely caught in translation here. Queenix knows exactly where he's playing from. There is 0 chance he's about to get this bomb down, and he's about to peek right into Queenix. Here comes the full rotate, and that is a little bit awkward, but the double AWP retrieved, or at least just the 1 AWP back in play. But another quite tightly contested round there for Existence. No opportunity to build this money up. They're pretty much going to have to invest the whole bank. They're going to have to go into the kiddie savings accounts. We need to borrow some money, get a loan, just to get out 5 rifles here.
Well, they've got the bank next to them, but I don't think you can withdraw from there. That should be a thing in Counter-Strike. You can go over to the ATM, And you can take money out, but it takes like 30 seconds. So it's like a really dangerous thing to do.
That shouldn't be in Counter-Strike.
No, not an M&J improvement today.
No. That one's a disprovement. Imagine that, with just 1v1, and then there's just some guy at the ATM.
Withdraws some money, pulls out an M249 in pistol round. That's what I want to see. These things that spice it up.
That could be pay to win. That's their way of really making Counter-Strike pay to win.
You can put real money in, and it gives you money in the round. Yeah, I like that. I like that too.
So all of the trust fund kiddies would just win every game.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'd be worth doing in matchmaking, but in this kind of scenario, oh, the Molotov's missed. He bumped into his teammate. That's a shame. They've only got the Tech 9s and Mac 10s to work with anyway, but they seem to be prevailing. Now they've got an M4 and a bit of range, and AZ's going to abuse it. He's found himself 3. That's exactly what they needed to do. Find that initial kill, pick up an M4, and make a big play with it. Now they have the man advantage. They have the B site. This is going to be a difficult retake, especially with Hector's on that orb.
Absolutely will. There's the Molotov to force AZ into the open. He finally gets taken down. That evens up the numbers. And Cajun B wants to trade up to the Mac 10 instead. It's the SMGs versus the world here as Existence creeps closer. That bomb very far ticked. They're going to smoke him, maybe even just tap this defuse. No, they hold it. Gade, he does get tagged, then fragged. Hector's almost doing everything. He has to stick this defuse for the full 5 seconds. Deagle at the ready, and Cajun B finds both shots required. That's round number 7 for North.
Everybody falls. But of course, it's the round win bonus for North, which is going to give them the cash to reinvest. And Existence, they don't have a whole lot to work with. Obviously, they've won the last couple of rounds, so their win bonus is completely gone. They're just down to 2k on all these players, and they are going to invest it. Pistols and SMGs all round. An opportunity for North to put themselves onto 8, maybe even 9 off of the back of it. It certainly becomes dangerous for Existence if they can't convert this. This is the 3rd map. It's all to play for. There's no more chances. Absolutely have to see perfect Counter-Strike from both sides. Queen X once again, right on the other side of so many opponents. This could be dangerous from Refresh, though, if he actually pushes all the way through and gains this info. Maybe even just holds the line and catches them as they fall back. He can relay all of this.
Yeah, here come the footsteps, and they have no idea that Refresh is right around this corner. But Lecro apparently a 6th sense of tingling. As with a minute left, somehow there's North with the opening. There's the second as well. It's falling apart once again for Existence as North close in on the 8th round. And due to all of that information given, they must think that it is towards the A bomb site. Queenix needs a lot more than just the 1 kill. He's radioed in for the 2nd man. And of course, both of these pistols stay here, but North, the flashes are perfect. Gade hits everything. And Nodios is stuck in another impossible scenario with just a deagle in hand. He's got no utility to try and do this. Maybe if he had the ninja kit, the smoke, and the diffuse kit, would have been able to do something here, M&J.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
When was the last time we saw a full-on ninja where the team just leaves the site, ninja defuse comes through, bit of a goof?
We've definitely seen one. I think we saw one on Nuke, but it was a little while ago. It doesn't seem to happen all too often. This is it's been a nice round from North, though, to be able to convert it, and it's just such an incredible read. If I was in a matchmaking game and I was in Refresh's scenario and I'd actually pushed up and I had that angle and Lecro just wide swung and pre-fired me like that, I'd just report him. I'd report him. I'd be making a support ticket. I'd be on the phone to Valve. I'd be like, he's cheating. But at this level, they're just so aware. They know that they've given up connector control, and therefore they know that there's potential that there could be someone lurking, trying to catch off the rotation, and therefore it's worth the check. And well, it pays off. It's absolutely incredible knowledge from all of these players. Really could read on the situation at all times, and it means that going into number 13, They've got all the tools to work with. Existence do not. They're just down to the pistols, and it gives North an opportunity to put themselves onto at least 9 in the first half here on Overpass, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, we've seen some very big T-sides in this series, and well, here's another one. 9 rounds pretty much a guarantee at this point, as the bomb can go down away on this B bomb site. Nothing that Existence can do about this one apart from set up for some exits, maybe try and steal away Gade's AWP. Funnily enough, we've seen MSL, obviously the confidence maybe a little bit shaky in this series. He's dropped the AWP and allowed, well, Gade to obviously salvage it, but I don't think it's retrievable for Hector's here. He's stepped into that Molotov, taking tons of damage, and there's AZ to finish him off. A 9th round, nothing really done for Existence, and as the AWP is re-grabbed, MSL has had a pretty shaky series. I think his first map was actually pretty decent long ago on Nuke, if anybody remembers that. But ever since then, he's been, yeah, towards the bottom of the scoreboard. He's right in the middle, I guess. 45 and 43 across those first 2 maps. I guess I can't criticize him too much. He's just had a bit of a stinker at the start of Overpass, but that really doesn't matter with everybody showing up. AZ, look at how many kills he's found, 20. And apparently North, do they want to 2v3 this?
Yeah,
Are we going to play a game of Wingman instead?
They could get us in, good.
So, a little bit of a technical glitch before we get back into the action. But we do have a bit to talk about. Sometimes when you see a technical timeout, it's like 0 to 2. There's nothing to mention. We've literally got nothing to mention whatsoever. But right now, North, a nice convincing lead. 9 rounds on this T side with the opportunity to take a little more. Can you give me your breakdown of what you thought about that first half? Or what we've seen of it?
Breakdown. Well, before I give you my breakdown, I'm going to give you a little showcase of something that I mentioned at the very, very start of the series, and it's something that we've seen, and I've been taking notes, Squid. I've been taking notes. So I talked about at the start of the series the fact that there's a wealth of talent and a wealth of experience on this North side, and that actually, despite the fact that we saw MSL stepping up incredibly yesterday, he was a man that was putting up incredible numbers. I think he had about, 55 frags or something along those lines across 2 maps, which is just mental. I said that actually there's potential that any one of these players on this side could step up into the map. They can be the ones putting up the big numbers. Yeah. Now, we saw that in the first 2 maps. We saw it yesterday from MSL. We saw it in the first 2 maps from Cajun B, where he was the man who was putting up incredible numbers. Again, I think he was on about 55, 56 kills across the first 2 maps. Now we go on to the third. Cajun B's quieted down a little bit. MSL's quieted down a little bit. And it's AZ that's stepping up. And he's sitting 20 to 7. It's round number 12 or 13. And he's sitting 20 to 7 right now. And he's the man that's putting up the numbers. And it shows that it's not like North have got some star player that they absolutely rely on him stepping up and going big. And we talk about this in some rosters. One that comes to my mind is Fate, just because we cast them all the time. We often talk about Blocker. We often talk about Han. They're the players that have to step up and put up the numbers in order for Fate to be successful. Here on this North side, there is no star player. It's just it depends on the day. Whoever fancies taking the lead and leading the team is the man who puts up the big numbers. And that's what we're seeing again here. Overpass, AZ's the man to watch out for. He's been playing fantastically, and he's going to be the one with the big numbers at the end of it, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what's so difficult for Existence to try and take a win over the top right here on Overpass, and just in this series in general, is the sticking power that you realistically need across 3 whole maps might just not be there. I think that Existence's best chance to win this series was on Nuke, where they had quite a substantial lead, starting on that T side, of course, and then Vertigo, where they did actually take the win. So props to them for that. It was 12 rounds on the T side. Unfortunately, it looks like they need quite a similar setting once again here on Overpass to try and get the job done for another time. So yeah, unfortunate stuff. I see the players are reconnecting back in the server, so we'll be back into that one in a couple of moments' time. But do you have any predictions to end this series off?
Predictions. Well, I think it's a little bit too early to call that North like definitely take this one over the edge. But as you say, we're seeing a very similar scenario to Vertigo. Now, Existence have absolutely shown that they're capable of bringing it back, especially moving on to their T side. However, do I think that they're going to do it twice in a row? No. So they need to start pulling back rounds now. They're currently sitting, I believe, 9-4 down. If they can pull back a couple, have a 9-6 half, maybe win the pistol, keep it in contention, then there's absolutely an opportunity of taking this one. If they let the next couple of rounds slip away and they have another 11-4 half, I'm not confident in their ability to pull it back once again.
Well, you've heard it here first. Existence, they've got no chance whatsoever. Told perfectly by our expert, M&J. So any hate that you've got, extend it in his direction. It's at M&J Casts on Twitter. You should send all your hate that way. Either way, we're getting back into this matchup. All of the players are ready on the server for this semi-final. Let's watch some Counter-Strike. It's overpass time. Oh, it's still paused. My bad, everybody. I baited you. I did a big intro. I slammed M&J. I gave him no opportunity to respond. And then I threw it into the game when we were still paused. So utmost professionalism there from Squid.
It's toxic. I said they had a chance if they pull back the next 2 rounds. They've got a good chance
I wasn't
of bringing it
listening.
back.
I was reading the Twitch chat and thinking about what I'm having for dinner. And the second semi-final as well. Somebody asked if Sprite versus Forza are coming up next, and they absolutely are. They'll be appearing on this stream, so stay tuned for that one.
It should be a very, very good game. We have to get this one over and done with before we can move on to it, though. Oh my! Straight through the wood. Tons of damage onto Cajun B. Sitting on 2 HP right now before he's even allowed anything in this round. He hasn't seen anyone. He hasn't really heard anything. Bang! Bullet in the head. It's mean.
I like that boost from MSL just to gain a tiny bit of visual towards long. I guess if somebody sat upon this little flower pot angle, they can be spotted, but no real long presence for Existence this time.
Well, the man advantage has been taken. 50 seconds on this clock. North need to start to take some control and actually decide where they want to end up, because they've grabbed this bomb. They're heading over towards Monster. They don't have any real info over towards B anymore. And if they walk in, they walk straight into 2 players. Obviously, this lurk from Let Crow could pay dividends, but Hector has got a fantastic angle. He connects the first shot onto MSL. He's still alive as well. He can dance around this pillar. And as Nodios finds himself one of his own, that gives them the man advantage to work with. But the spray transfer comes through from AZ. Once again, he's the man to put the plays in. And Cajun B finds 1 kill himself, and that's it. That's it. Nodios is just going to fall right back. He's going to save that M4. AZ, the man. He finds himself another 2K.
That's really sad. Tragedy for Existence there on the B bomb site. A horror show defense. There's the scoreboard. 22 frags for AZ. We'll obviously see it at the start of next round as well. Look at all of these kills. He's got all of the kills.
Close. No one's even close to him.
That's the thing about AZ, and he's been exactly the same for years. A very streaky player, especially on this T side, where sometimes he'll hit every single shot. You see him just doing exactly that on the B site. If you've got 90% of just the player pool on that initial entry, they're not going to hit these shots. You look at exactly what AZ is about to do here. Look at this double spray down. Just such a conversion. And then for Cajun B to actually steal away the 3rd and keep AZ alive is just, look, AZ's dead to rights. And Cajun B just saves the day there from heaven. 10-4, double digits. And North might be about to put back-to-back 11-4 T-sides on the scoreboard.
Oh, it's a very nice boost. Again, tons of damage dealt, but no initial kill. Existence. Well, it's round number 15. They really want to put 5 here, otherwise they go 11-4 down. And as I said during that pause, Squid, that's it. They go 11-4 down. all my confidence in them is gone.
That's unfortunate. If they don't have the M&J seal of approval, I don't know how they're going to bring this one back.
Nor do I.
I have to, I don't know, pray.
That's it. We just end it. If it goes 11-4, we just say, yeah, North probably win. Let's on to the next game.
Just stop the series right there. This is, yeah, certainly looking like opportunities as Queen Nix does spray down a pair of players. They've still got the support of no Dios, but it's KSHP and Lecro this time on entry duty to find those pair of kills. 30 seconds left, and it's apparently not bomb plant time. And with the flank full effect, not quite from Monster, but this water angle refresh. Oh, he's going to swing inside. I don't know if he's got the information. He is going to check the angle, but not fully. Oh. And there's Lecro to finish off the job. KSHP and Lecro are 2 versus 5 right there to put that 11-4 on the board. And, well, that's the game over, according to M&J.
Maybe. I don't want to call it. I'm not massively confident in my abilities. Otherwise, I'd be an analyst. But
I'd love to see what these odds are. I'm kind of wary. We've got the pause, so we have to wait for the odds. I'm sure that they're going to put them up anyway. Oh, they're the same as the last map.
1p. Last time it was 2p. Last map it was 2p. But this time 1p. If you place a pound or $1 on North, you get 1 cent back. I'm gonna put my life savings on them and win myself $1.
I was gonna say, yeah, you put your life savings on them and you win yourself like 4p.
Yeah, very, very confident in North taking this one. Of course, Existence have shown that they're absolutely capable of pulling back a scoreline like this, and it even was on their T side as well on Vertigo. But doing it 2 times in a row, I didn't see it happening. North are looking like the better side here on Overpass. It's exactly what we saw yesterday against Galaxy Racer. It'd be a shame to end in such a convincing fashion on the basis that the last 2 maps came so incredibly close. I think Existence have certainly got some fight left in them, but do they have 7 rounds in a row of it? And then the ability to close after that as well.
Because that has been their big issue. I guess being down so heavily means if they do bring the scoreline back, there's that momentum factor in play. But CT side and for Overpass compared to Inferno are 2 very different territories. And MSL wants to line this one up, and they're missing everything. Finally, they do trade. It's Hector's about 13 bullets in, able to convert the frag. But it's a 4 versus 4. North know exactly where Existence are heading for. And realistically, KSHP can also rotate if he wants to. Lecro's already taken full water control. He's covering this whole side of the map. There's a flashbang just to give KSHP a couple of extra seconds up towards this A bomb site. Instead, he wants to actually linger around Monster where nobody is holding from. And now the information, surely the rotate should come through. It's a little bit late, but maybe Gabe doesn't need the support. A pair of headshots puts us back into a 2 versus 3.
Absolute pinpoint accuracy. He's Hitman. He's an assassin. He doesn't want to waste his bullets, and that's exactly what we see. Very nice headshots all round from North to put their 12th on the board. That's the pistol round there. Now 4 away from closing this one out, and as our Existence are just going to be on a full eco here, a very, very good opportunity for them to do so. Look at these headshots from Gade. Pew pew. That's what noise it makes. Single bullet.
If he really is Hitman, I think we have to shave his head. See if there's a barcode on the back of his head.
I have, staring right at me. I have a big Hitman figure from the special edition. He's staring at me. Looks really scary.
A big cardboard cutout?
No, it's not a cardboard cutout. It's like a big, like...
Is it a real man? Is it a real, like, 6'3" guy?
Yeah, he's
Is
in
that
my
what
house.
Comes with the collector's edition?
Yeah, yeah, that's what you get. You get one of them. He's like our house
Does your
security.
washing?
Yeah, and that. Yeah, there's not many intruders to fend off, so we give him other
Because
tasks.
remember, he can disguise as absolutely anybody. So he could dress as a gardener and then go and do the gardening. I mean, I can dress as whoever I want, like, theoretically, but Hitman actually does it.
Yeah, that's what I do. He's a multi-purpose Hitman. I don't think that's what AZ is, though. Or Gade. It was actually Gade that found those 2 headshots. He's just a headshot machine. As we go into the 18th. Well, this is a must-win round for Existence. We talk about must-win rounds quite a lot, but this really is one. If they can't convert this, North will be able to put themselves onto match point, and Existence will need 11 in a row just to take it to overtime. Ooh, MSL. Tries to get a little bit cheeky there with the door. He gets punished for it, but it is traded out by AZ.
Lecro's on an incredibly low HP, just 7, so wants to play a more back and passive angle, allowing Existence, I guess, a little more space. But as he rotates over to A, they've got the 2-2 setup firmly in place, and with 70 seconds left on the board, the 2 heaviest hitting members are towards this B bomb site, namely AZ with the AWP. MSL's just giving him all of the space to do exactly what he wants. If he needs to, yes, pick up that AWP, doing exactly what you feel most confident in doing. And at 13-4, the big goal is really just to solidify those last 3 rounds, close it out. You don't even really have to be worried about the economy, the momentum, any of these little metagame factors. Instead, just win these rounds, close it out. We should be getting a bit aggressive here, and Hector's doesn't connect with the shot. Forces KGB into more passive lines. With Lecro still stuck on 7 points of health, maybe they just spray him away through this smoke. Instead, he finds a headshot. Here comes the crossfire, and so much damage has been done, leaving Nodios a 1 versus 2 to try and pull through. Just trying to isolate these angles. There's a nade, takes a tickle of HP right away from him. But with the bomb down, that's a time pressure applied to North. And they do trade perfectly and evenly. And there's even the body shot to finish. BMM&J.
Absolutely. A very, very valiant attempt there from Nodios. Huge time pressure. 15 seconds on the clock. A 4 versus 1. He actually manages to fight his way out of the impossible situation with 2 nice kills. Allows him to get that bomb down. Even finds a 3rd. But just can't quite convert on the final kill. And of course, as I say, that was a really must-win round for them. Off of the back of the bomb plant, they are actually going to have some cash to invest into this one, which means they'll have a couple of AKs, a couple of Galils, very, very limited utility available, and on a map like Overpass, that can be a real detriment. Especially using one early on as well to extinguish that Molotov. North are really in the driving seat right now, and they want to just close this one out sooner rather than later. They don't want to allow Existence the opportunity to pull back into this one, and it's easy to find the opener here in round number 19.
This North performance looks very similar to the one we saw yesterday against Galaxy Racer, and that's a very worrying sign. That was a 16-5. Here, the rotate is fully in place. They've almost got 3 players with KGB now raining in bullets through that smoke. The bomb, not really much closer to going down, and there's Gade from the sidelines to find 2 quick kills. The bomb plant comes through once again, as MSL wants to turn the screw backwards in passive. Gade here, just on this site, gets blasted out of the server. And now MSL, just on his lonesome. How's he going to get this one done? There's another nade. That might actually take refresh right away. Good night. Just Hooksy left, and MSL's just an inch away from finding that one. 14-5. Might even see a similar scoreline to yesterday. I wonder if North decide to eat the eco right now or go for quite an aggressive buy.
I'd like to see them eat the eco. They know that they're against a full investment. They know that there's an AWP in play. They know there's going to be rifles all round. They're unlikely to get anything done with the pistols, and it's looking like that's what they're going to do. Unless they trick me and buy in the very last second. No, they don't. Okay, they go for this full eco. I like that. I like that from North. They've got plenty of rounds to play with. They don't need to throw them away. A lot of these scenarios coming very, very close. I would have liked to see that nade deployed a little bit earlier from MSL in that last round. Would have given him some more time to work with. Would have meant that he didn't have to go for that wide swing. Yeah, of course, does give Existence an opportunity to put a round on the board in this second. And, oh, look at this cam path. Whoa, we get to zigzag around connector.
Let's do it
I'll get
again.
another one. I like that one. That one's cool.
Whoosh. Motion sickness. If you've got motion sickness out in the chat, we are not liable. Or I'm not, at least.
Wow. An opportunity for Queenix to rack up some money here with this Mac 10. Of course, he is just against the pistols. They're actually playing this incredibly slow, though. Now, I like this. I like they don't just charge into a site and walk into the B stack, but it certainly applies some time pressure. And, well, when Gallo has been retrieved, they only take one casualty. That is going to initiate the push onto this A site, of course, as they now have all the info that the CTs are stacked up over towards that side of the map. Especially as they take out Cage and B here. This nade, ooh, doesn't quite do the trick, but deals tons of damage nonetheless. And yeah, this is just going to be a free round for Existence.
Absolutely. North will just set up for the exit, see if they can do some bonus damage, but probably not considering all 4 of these Existent members are on 100 HP apiece. They're also creating a diversion for MSL to save this Galil. Existence have to stay over on this A site. They finally got the rotate over, but Hector's, he's miles away, and there's no real point in gunning for this Galil.
Yeah, there's going to be a full investment from North in the next anyway. I suppose this Gallo gets dropped over to Lecro, who actually doesn't really have the money to fully invest. That absolutely makes sense. It's actually a pretty good save. Otherwise, it would have been a bit pointless, because you wouldn't really want a Galil in this scenario. You'd want to just upgrade to an M4 anyway. But yeah, with Lecro only on 3k, that Galil was going to sit nicely on his back. And somewhat of a full investment. Limited utility on a lot of these players. That might cause them some problems. Narduas actually sticking with that Mac 10, despite there being plenty of cash for him to upgrade. The Battle of the Orcs to kick things off. Hector's actually just watching for the boost, but MSL's getting super aggressive. He might spot out the head. He exactly does that. Is he able to get this kill, though? Hector's isn't swinging too wide. MSL has to get very aggressive, and he can't quite connect it.
He squeak at least, as the Mac 10 tries to go for the initial peek. Falls on deaf ears, and there's nobody there to capitalize off the back of that frag. At least some damage has been dealt onto both Cajun B and Gade. This B site really doesn't have too much HP between the two of them, and there's a bit of further bonus damage. Be very careful about this one, especially with Cajun B just sat within the heaven. Hazy still at the ready, an M4 in hand. And North, their CT sides might not have been the most sturdy thus far today, but might be able to convert another pretty dominant map win here on Overpass. Hazy's just waiting, posted with that smoke. It finally does go away. That isolates a couple of players here, but that usually does favor the T's. It's quite a bad smoke, all things considered, and there go the kills as a result. 7 rounds almost guaranteed on the board for Existence as North, they have to save.
I'd love to see that from Refresh's perspective. He'd have expected him to find 3 kills like that, though, on the entry. That must have been so fast. Even that AWP being taken down as well, just trying to find some exits. Hector's is hyper aware of it. And it's only Lecro, the one man that had the weak rifle, the Galil. He's the only one that has an opportunity to save here. And I don't even think there's any retrievable weapons. He actually just has to stick with this Galil. They're not going to have any money to work with in the next round, so doesn't make a huge amount of difference. I think there'll just be a couple of pistols, maybe a little bit of Kevlar bought around him. 7th on the board for Existence, though. Still a long road ahead. 7 in a row needed, of course, to actually level things out. But they have to play it round at a time. They can't quite look at the big prize yet. They just have to chip away, close this gap, and then maybe when they get to 10, maybe when they get to 11, 12, they can start saying, right, here we go, guys. We might be able to do this.
At this point, I do think you have to put the scoreline right out of your head. Don't let the score get to you, because once you start to chain rounds together, let's say Existence do get this to 14-14, that's when the pressure starts to set in. You have to, even though it's incredibly difficult here in Counter-Strike, you've got to just put that scoreline directly out of your head, not think about it whatsoever. here. This should be a guaranteed 8th, considering it's only Lekro with a Galil and maybe a couple of upgraded pistols. You've got a couple of HEs as well, but with nobody heading towards Monster, they probably shouldn't do too much.
I used to have a friend, Squid. He was one of these kind of players. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Don't be toxic. Don't be toxic. All right. So I used to have this friend. And he was one of those kind of players that blames everything but himself. So he'd like change his res all the time. He'd change his crosshair all the time, and he would actually.
This is sneaky beaky TV, isn't it?
It's not. But he was like really like he just blamed everything but himself, and he actually used to unbind his scoreboard so that he didn't know, like the scorer used to have the HUD off at the top. He used to unbind his scoreboard so he didn't know like, how many kills he had. Yeah, because it would play on his mind. So he'd be like, I'm just gonna play the game. I don't want to know how many kills I have. And yeah, how mental is that?
But how do you see if your teammates have bought?
I don't know.
Care?
He wasn't a very good player.
How do you see who's alive in a like a 1vx situation? There are so many issues with this. It sounds good at the start, but now I've started to think about it. That's a horrible idea.
Yeah, there are definitely problems.
That is really ridiculous. I mean, there's not really much point in North doing economical damage here. Existence can buy up until this half is literally finished, until this series is finished. So maybe saving the M4 and Galil combination would have probably been the better bet. 14 to 8 either way. North still quite a decisive lead here in the second half of Overpass.
Wow, finally we see an even buy. Feels like we haven't seen this in quite a while. MSL with that AWP, the M4's all round, utility's pretty healthy as well. And of course we see the same in Existence. They've got tons of money behind them, but that money doesn't mean anything. If they start to lose, well, if they lose a single round, then they have problems on their hands. So they have to be careful, and AZ with that jump spot is going to see 1. Might not anticipate 3 to be there, but the nades come through nonetheless, and they're actually going to run through the Molotov. They take tons of damage from it, and KGB's able to convert a single kill. AZ, well, timing doesn't quite work out for him, but Gade right behind the barrels. There's no way they expected so many players to be on this B site. With the smoke going down as well, it's going to buy him even more time for MSL to rotate. Hooks is holding an angle with 2 bullets. That's a big mistake.
He really, really wanted to find Gade right there, but on 74 points of health, there goes the swing. He's bailed himself out of a lot of trouble as Hector's gets tagged down to 25, just a quarter HP to work with. MSL, oh, he instantly drops. They know that Gade is lurking and lingering around this bomb site, but Hector's takes his eyes off the prize. Hooked it connects. And now Existence, they're just 5 away from closing up the scoreline.
Getting deja vu, Squid. North, they came into this second half. They pulled together the first few rounds, and I'm thinking, okay, we're not going to see a repeat of Vertigo. They've come in with a lot more confidence, and instead, we haven't really seen anything since them taking 3 in a row at the start of this half. We have really seen nothing from them in the last 5. Now they're on an eco once again, an opportunity for Existence, put themselves onto 10. This is incredible. If they can actually pull this off 2 maps in a row, this definitely highlights some problems for the north side. But it would be absolutely incredible. Crazy underdog story for Existence.
This really is the Cinderella storyline. There were massive underdogs going into both of these second halves. Of course, pretty big underdogs going into this series in general. As we said earlier, M&J, the opportunity for a 2-0 was there. Now, they have to do it the hard way. After this 6 in a row required to close this out in regulation. Overtime definitely on the cards. Just considering North haven't been able to put together any form of reasonable CT side. Existence couldn't either. Remember, it was an 11-4 first half. As of then, these teams have traded 3 to 5 in rounds.
Oh, that was cheeky. Nice headshot from KGB to open things up over towards Connector. AZ might be able to find himself another, but I don't think he's going to be allowed it. North getting shut away in this round. This should just be a freebie for Existence. They are running down the clock quite low, but, well, Gade goes for a very, very audacious peak, and that's not going to work out for him whatsoever. Lecro, there's not really a whole lot of point to this. If he finds some kills, then fantastic. Boosts his KD a little, but realistically, I don't fancy his chances of clutching the round, and economical damage isn't going to do a whole lot to Existence right now. Lecro was the clutch man before. That time he had a rifle in his hand. This time he's only got the scout, and he's not going to be able to convert it. Queenix is the man to finish him off. And Existence, they put themselves onto double digits. This becomes dangerous, Squid.
It definitely does. Double digits is the sort of platform that you can make one of these sort of comebacks viable. This is a very deep scoreline to really try and turn back, especially with North onto 14 early. On Vertigo, they got stuck on 11 and stuck on 12. Here for Existence. Let's see if they can find another rifle round to make things a little bit closer. North, they can dig themselves out of a spot of bother by taking this one. It would give them 5 match points. Not out of the woods just yet for Existence. They still have to make the final portion of this comeback. And, well, definitely viable, but Odios tries to gun in for this opening frag. There's the Molotov in smoke to extinguish it. Existence doesn't want to commit towards this B-bomb site. Instead, grab hold of that bomb, head back to the trio of T's to try and take toilets, where MSL is holding with this AWP. He's always lingering around, just holding these up close and personal tighter angles. Of course, right here, you can actually spot the shadow first before the T even engages. And we'll maybe even see that if Refresh wants to move into this angle instead, just holding it at the ready. Gay drops in the meantime. MSL, oh, he's spotted out the back there. Maybe even the bomb wants to bail out of trouble as Refresh drops. How is he going to escape from this? There's no coverage of long for Existence, so he can get back to this A site, and maybe Existence just decide to backtrack after finding the opening frag from Gade. Of course, Nodios on very low HP, but now they have to challenge this deadly duo. Only AZ holding the line already exposes his angle and cleanly taken away. Only Nodios drops. He was the low HP player, and Lecro's been spotted, so they know where all of this defense is posted. And that nade, yes, it does damage, but no frags found.
Well, as Hector's finds one of his own, it brings it into a 3-on-2. Their positions aren't great, but Hector's, oh, he's still missing the shots. He did actually connect there, but can't quite find the kill as MSL comes through. He's now the man that's last alive. 2 to find. Hector's playing this one well, just ducking his head under. And Queenix, he's just sitting on the site. He doesn't want to cross. He wants his teammate to do all the work, and that's exactly what Hector's does. Finishes things off, puts Existence onto 11, and forces North into another position where they can't really buy here. It's probably just going to be, again, some pistols and Kevlar to work with. And this becomes very, very doable. You have to look at it one round at a time. We talked about it before. Existence right now, it's 14-11. They can absolutely bring this back. Just forget about the fact that you've just pulled back 7 in a row and just say, right, this is the scoreline right now. Play it round at a time, and we can do this. And they absolutely can right now. They are looking very, very good on their T side. They just need to make sure they don't make any mistakes in Gade in this corner. If he goes unchecked, it could cause problems, and for now, they are being shut down.
They need to be worried about 2/3 of the members here, and Gade hasn't been checked. That's 2 kills, and it's fallen apart. Just Hector's to try and save the day, spotting out the shoulder. MSL does overexpose, and he knows that Gade is tucked in between the barrels. He now knows where both players are holding from. He has this backtrack angle. There's no opportunity for any sort of knife, but misses the first shot. And there's Gade to react and respond. 15 finally for North, and somehow they do it with the pistols.
Oh, I said it right there. If Gade goes unchecked, that could be the difference maker. Nobody checked him. He found himself 2 right there, even finding the final as well. I actually really like the way that Hector's played that. I would have liked to see him actually go for that shot on the barrels and then take the 1v1 fight with the short player. I think it was quite ambitious to try and think that you could get the kill on short before the barrel player actually swings around and shoots you. Either way, it was smart. It's a good idea, but it just didn't quite work out. They have got the money behind them to invest back into this and play for the overtime, but North have finally managed to put themselves onto match point. And I think it will be a sigh of relief for them. Yeah, they were starting to get worried that actually X6TENCE could pull this all the way back and take it in regulation. At least they now know, right, we're on match point. Worst case scenario at this point is we go to overtime. Now that they really don't want that, but at least it's not a loss.
Thus far, they've got a fairly good track record going 1-1 in OT. Could definitely change the pace if we did go to all 15 here for X6TENCE. Holding serve inside the connector. There's Nodios, he's going to eat the initial damage. Silence before the storm, or calm before the storm here on Overpass. Nobody finding any of these openings as of yet, and X6TENCE certainly haven't made their mind up as to which side of the map they're heading towards. The MSL finding that first frag. He's not being dealt with and can keep this angle posted with the AWP. The Molotovs are going to force Refresh forward instead of backwards. And there's the tag, and Cajun B could have very easily responded. Where's the nade? It does connect, and Refresh is history.
This is often where you see a lot of teams fall apart when they're contesting match or series point. No one wants to be the man to make a mistake, and then they throw away all their fundamentals. They've been getting super aggressive so far on this T side, and it's been working out really well for them. And now their backs are against the wall, and nobody wants to be the man to push in and find that opener. It's certainly costing them. They're being picked apart right now. It's all on Hector's and Nodios to try and clutch this one up. In a 5 versus 2 situation, there's 25 seconds on this clock. They have to push on to A, and there's so much utility to deny it. MSL doing work as well. Still no kills found as Hectos is on 40 HP, and he accepts his fate. He takes a nade to the face from Let Crow. And North